What's up, everybody? Welcome to GameFace, episode 490, right here on SIFTD at SIFTD.net. I'm Shane Satterfield, your host for the next couple hours of awesome video game discussion. And of course, alongside me to do all of this is the one and the only, Matt Keil. How are you, Matt Keil?
A little warm.
Yeah, it is a little warm. I mean, we're in the summer here now in LA. We're finally getting like warmer temperatures. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, it's a little thick.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the usual, the LA's cliche is like, oh, it's a dry heat.
Yeah.
It's not, it's humid.
Yeah, actually, we've had some humidity, which we never have, like ever. We never get humidity, but now we are. I'm not complaining, though. I actually like temperatures like 80 to 83 and breezy. That's like my perfect day.
I like it a little warmer than most people, but at the same time, the upstairs air conditioning stopped working, so...
We're sweating it out a little bit up here. We'll be all right, though.
It'll be fixed tomorrow.
Yeah. Not in time for me, though.
No.
Well, I hope you guys are having yourselves an awesome week. It really is the dog days of summer right now. Like, driving over here, there was no traffic. It was literally the shortest trip ever here.
It's because there's nobody in town. I've seen that for the last several days. Like, there's no one anywhere.
I feel like we're the only people working right now.
I feel like that every time I try to drive anywhere in this city on a Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah.
It's like it's 1 p.m.
Where is everybody?
What are you all doing out here? Like, where are you all going?
There's no traffic here right now. Like, the traffic on the website, it always happens in July because everyone's on vacation. I'm glad that we have people who show up for our live streams. That's freaking awesome in the middle of summer. But if you guys were out enjoying yourselves, having fun, and just listening to the podcast version of the show for a few weeks, that's cool too. Yeah. Go out and live your life, have fun. It is summertime. If you are fortunate enough to be able to have a vacation, take it and enjoy it. And hopefully you've hooked up your podcast feeds at patreon.com/sifted, and you're getting the show the second that we publish it into your phone, into your podcast app. And then you can just enjoy the show while you're on a train in Europe, or you're on a flight to Las Vegas, or you're driving to New York City. Whatever you're doing for your vacations this summer, I hope we can come along with you and make it a little bit more enjoyable. And again, this is just the way it is. Right now, traffic, like, for example, right now, we're asking for questions for Pactor Factor. A little bit of housekeeping. And normally, by the first day those questions are up, we have enough to do the whole run of shows. And we put it up yesterday in the middle of the day, and we have nowhere near enough to do the show. But we're not shooting until Friday, so we have time. But I knew it was going to take longer because there aren't as many people on the site. There aren't as many people online right now. So if you love Pactor Factor, and you should, and you're on YouTube right now, our YouTube crew is all lining up on our stream. Head on over to our YouTube channel, click the community tab, and there's a post there, and just put your question. Just reply to the post, put your question in there, and you may be in Pactor Factor. Patrons, people on SIFTD.net, you guys know the drill already. There's places for you guys to go and ask your questions right now at both of those locations. And we have posts on social media right now. There's one on Twitter, there's one on Blue Sky, there's one on Facebook. Reply to any of those. We go and gather all that stuff to bring it in to go and shoot Pactor Factor on Friday. So please do that, because again, right now, everything's slow. Everybody's away from the internet, which is awesome, but it makes it a little tough for us to get questions for Pactor Factor. So if you're watching on YouTube right now, and I know a bunch of you are, just go over and click that community tab, and right there at the top post is, hey, give us your questions for Pactor Factor. Do that. We'd appreciate it very, very much. And again, we shoot on Friday, so you have a little bit of leeway, but you'll forget about it once you leave this show. So if you're watching the show right now, go ask a question for Pactor Factor to make sure that we have enough questions to do the episodes on Friday.
This is the period of time, because this is the last 2 weeks of July was when all Americans take their vacation if they're going to. Yeah. This is the period of time when back in the G4 days, we had 3 viewers with Nielsen boxes, because that's how stupid that system is. And every July, 1 or 2 of them would go on vacation for 2 weeks, and the ratings would drop by a third or 2/3, and the exec would panic, like, what are we doing?
No,
what happened?
Go back and
What's
look at
going
last
on?
year.
And every time we'd have to be like, it's just that the 2 guys with Nielsen boxes went somewhere and aren't watching TV. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't do anything wrong.
Yep.
The last episode of Ninja Warrior didn't make everyone refuse to turn the channel on ever again. Like, it's just fucking July, and the Nielsen ratings are a joke.
Yeah.
So
I always take my vacations in the fall, particularly if I go to Europe, because it's so much cooler right now. It's like on fire in Europe. It's on fire in America too. It's on fire everywhere right now, honestly. Like, temperatures are just insane right now. But we always go to vacation in Europe in like September, October, because it's cheaper, the crowds are less, and the weather's perfect. So
I don't generally go on vacation anywhere.
Yeah, you really don't, actually.
Travel is more stressful to me than regular life.
Oh, really? I don't blame you. You're right. Like, I hate flying. I hate the traveling part.
I
love it once I get there.
Yeah, if I could just walk through a portal and be there, I would do that all the time.
Someday it'll happen. It's coming.
Not transporters. Those are suicide machines. But wormholes. Yes. Portal tech.
Swan Senpai in our chat says that global warming is killing Europe. I mean, yesterday, the last 2 days in Phoenix, Arizona, set records for the hottest ever. Mm-hmm. I mean, almost every major city in America has set heat records in the last month and a half. So it's not just Europe. I mean, that's why we pay the money to live here, man. I mean, that is
we accidentally ended up where the Mediterranean climate is going to settle instead of up north.
Yeah. I mean, I love the weather here is great. It's about as good as it could possibly be, in my opinion. And that's why it's worth it to spend the extra money to live here, I think. So, but look, man, it's not just Europe. It's everywhere. Like, we are setting record heat temperatures pretty much around the globe right now. So it is what it is. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. All you can do is explain stuff to people.
Soon you won't even be able to do that.
You're right. Because there won't be any water to take the horse to. Because all the data centers are sucking it all up. It's just what a time to be alive.
See you in the water wars, folks.
I mean,
I've been saying that for 20 years.
You have. Matt has been saying that eventually there's going to be a war over water in America for a long time.
100%.
Literally for years and years. And it's kind of looking like it's going there. Because right now communities are showing up to fight against these data centers. Mm-hmm. And the community leaders are like, F you. Yeah. We don't care about you. We are getting a gigantic kickback for this. And no matter what you say to me, I don't care. And then you ask them, well, would you want to live next to a data center?
They don't care because
they'll never have to.
I mean, the amount of money changing hands on these things is insane.
It is insane. Billions of dollars.
There are people becoming billionaires just by
signing their name.
I name this thing, and then there's a chance that none of these will even get built. But they've already got the money.
You're right. Yep.
You see that it's happening a lot. There was a whole story.
What happens when the AI thing dies and you have these huge data centers just sitting out in the middle of nowhere? I mean, people are just going to go in there and just take all the wiring out of them.
Take all the wiring. I mean, that is one thing to remember. There's a lot of copper in those things, just in case somebody might be interested. Same with those flock cameras.
Yeah. But people are taking those down.
Oh yeah. LA canceled their contract with them after 6 weeks.
It's really?
Not worth it.
They're breaking the law and everything. Yeah. Nobody cares about the law anymore, Matt. It is the golden age for white collar crime. You can get away with whatever you want as long as it's not violence.
Flock already got paid. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, there was just this story about how there's a school, the school district is going to try stun gun drones to stop school shootings. And the drones are going to be reinforced so they can ram people. Uh-huh. And it's and
they're not flying drones, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, they are.
Oh, they are.
Flying drones that can shoot stun guns, nets, and ram into people if they're trying to do a school shooting. And a couple of my friends were freaking out about that. I'm just like, these are never going to happen.
No.
This is just tech drivel where these companies move in where they see some kind of opening and someone gullible enough to sign on the dotted line. They'll get paid probably through taxpayer money, and you'll never see these drones will never exist. They'll never be in the schools. But a bunch of people will get a little more money from them because that's the grift.
Yeah, I think there's a big rush right now to get the data centers built because they know in November things are going to change, and they know 2 years after that.
Well, the bottom could drop out of this at any given moment,
and that's true too. Yeah,
you got to get in before the bubble pops.
Yep. Yep. Gladly, I'm not a part of that bubble. Yeah. A couple things before we get going. Comic-Con was this past weekend, although I will admit, Matt, that you couldn't really tell by being on the internet. IGN was there and they did their usual live thing, so I knew it because I was working on SIFTD or whatever.
You saw the Marvel panel and a bunch of panels were being talked about, and video was of them and stuff. It was about the same as usual.
Yeah, I heard that the crowds were smaller though this year.
No.
I mean, the attendance wasn't down.
They might have been down, but no one I know who went noticed on the floor.
Oh, okay.
It's as crowded as ever.
Well, that's good. This is old footage, by
terrible.
The way. Just so you know, this isn't from this year.
This is the worst convention in the world. This is. I hate San Diego Comic-Con with every fiber of my existence.
I hated it too. I hated going to cover it.
There.
I hated the travel in there.
I do not understand. I don't understand the fucking point. I don't. I went in 1996 and I understood because it was a fucking comic convention now, and now it's some kind of multimedia thing where you got to wait overnight to get into Hall H to see 5 seconds of an actor you want to see, and like. And all my friends are posting videos like, here's me in line to cross the street to get in line to get into the convention center, to stand shoulder to shoulder with people in the convention center hall, to get into no panels and see like 5 things in a booth. It's like, what? Why?
ETH Demon says Anime Expo was worse.
The Anime Expo was crazy oversold this year.
Really?
I again haven't been there either, but like in many years. But there was like video of it from like 10 years ago, and it's just like 4 people in that big entryway in the convention center. You know, the entrance like E3 is.
Yeah.
You know, and then it was a picture from this year, and it's literally you can't. Like, no one can move. That whole open area you first walk in outside of the West Hall. Yeah, it's just shoulder to shoulder people. Like it's not. They're not even in the convention. They're just outside in the lobby. Basically.
Anime is just gigantic now. Yeah. Man. All the Gen Z love it, and it's just
because
blowing
they grew
up
with it.
Yeah,
it's on TV all the time.
It's really
now.
huge.
You know, we had to seek it out. We had to get fan sub VHSs from shady weirdos at the flea market, and now you just like turn it on in the afternoon. Damn kids.
I literally have no interest in going to Comic-Con anymore. By the last 2 times I went there to cover it, I didn't want to be there anymore.
I went a couple years ago because one of our movies was in the film festival there. Mm-hmm. But I mean, famously, like everyone I was there with the rest of the crew, like they thought I was hilarious because I was just constantly
cutting it up.
I'm just like, what the fuck? Like it took us 20 minutes to get like 4 booths. It's crazy. Like, what do you for what?
Yeah, I know.
For what?
It's just a lot of them are just there to see celebrities, man.
I guess
that's really all it is. It's just celebrity worship.
I just don't care about that. So it's like
a lot of people
don't care about being in the same room as a Supernatural guy.
I don't either.
I mean, maybe I'd wait an hour for a Marvel panel, but I wouldn't wait 14 hours overnight and camp out on the street.
I would wait maybe an hour for a Marvel panel. Yeah, maybe.
That's it.
Yep.
And
after an hour, I would get out of line. And you know what?
My view of Ryan Reynolds dressed as Deadpool heckling them on stage was better because it was a fucking camera,
right?
As opposed to standing like 400 feet to the right and just hearing it and assuming he's over there somewhere. Like, you're about as close to these guys as you probably would be if you just went to Hollywood for five hours. Like it's.
I admire the cosplay.
Oh, the cosplay is always amazing.
It's really impressive. That's the best part of Comic-Con.
But you know what? But it's the best part of all these things.
It is.
It's like Dragon Con and Celebration. But again, the other nice thing about the cosplay is you don't need to actually go in the hall to see it.
Yeah,
they're all out.
They're out in the hallways. I wonder if there he is. I was just gonna ask, is AJ the Legend back from Comic-Con yet? He said he just renewed with San Diego Comic-Con through 2030. I mean, look, I know a lot of people really love it. It's just not my bag. I mean,
some people have like a whole social system there where like friends they've made over
years. It's
a
little bit like a Burning Man.
Yeah, they're going back to see it, and like that I understand. But like the event itself is fucking dog shit, and always has been.
I have no interest in it.
It's ever since they sold out to like the big corporate interests, like about 2005-ish, 2006-ish.
When I started going.
Yeah. Because, like I said, I went in '96 and it was just a fucking comic convention. It was just the biggest one in the world,
and the coolest one, yeah.
And then the next time I went was 10 years later, 2006 for G4, and I got there and I had to ask someone where the comic books were.
All in the
because
corner.
it was half of it was just like the same shit that had been at E3. Like right down to the exact same Nintendo booth and shit.
They even build the same booth.
A giant Pikachu they used that for a long time.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was like, there's over there where all the lights are off. You know, it's like I don't understand it. Like and like every convention that was like the alternatives, like Stan Lee's Kamikaze or like that was now LA Comic-Con or something, and there's WonderCon and all that, and now they're all just as crazy and packed, and you can't do it. It's just like I don't know what the point is anymore.
I think a lot of people just don't have a lot of things that they enjoy doing, and so this is the stuff they enjoy, and that's why they go to it.
We're
so isolated now. Like nobody just goes out anymore and like hangs out with people. It's like everybody's at home, either on their phone or on their computer or playing games.
I don't know, man. I drive by that Firestone place on La Brea, and all these tons of people out at the bars and stuff.
I mean, even if you look at the data, that's all way down. Like alcohol sales have like fallen through the floor. Like nobody's buying alcohol.
Isn't drinking too
except
much. For
LS Cream. I think it's probably the only liquor that may be growing right now in sales. Because all the other ones that were gigantic, like, big vodka brands and tequila brands, like, they're hurting right now. Especially, like, whiskey brands, because they used to sell a lot to Canada, and then Trump put a tariff on Canada, stupidly, who's, like, our best friends. And so they were like, well, okay, we're just not going to buy your liquor anymore because we're not going to pay for the tariffs on your liquor. And so now all the whiskey and scotch companies in Kentucky and all these other states, they're hurting too. So it's the alcohol business right now is in deep crap. Like they don't know what to do. Because how do you convince somebody to drink?
Normally you don't need to do that.
But people just aren't interested in it anymore. It's very interesting. AJ, I'm glad you had a good time at Comic-Con. I'm glad you came back safely and glad you're hooked up for a bunch of years to come. But yeah, for me, just not my thing. And then what was really the big news out of Comic-Con? There really wasn't.
For video games?
Yeah.
No.
There was none.
There's a lot of news out of Comic-Con.
Oh, yeah, for
wasn't
films and stuff, yeah. But not for games. It was very
I guess they revealed the first DLC character for Tokon.
No, they did. Release date for Star Wars Zero Company.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's all that I think
And the release date for Laufey.
All right. I guess that was during their panel.
Technically during their panel.
Yeah. And that is going to be our Video Game Town headline of the week this week, talking about God of War Laufey.
Yeah, it's mostly again, Comic-Con's been a movie announcement business for 15 years.
That's what it is. It's kind of a living movie trailer.
Pretty much.
It's interesting. Yep. Some more housekeeping to get you guys caught up before we get into the heart of the show. Unfortunately, we just got word that the second Tomb Raider game under development at Amazon has also been delayed. So the first one is, what is it? Something Atlantis, which is a remake of the first Tomb Raider.
Game, yeah.
This is Tomb Raider Catalyst, which is the new one. And it was supposed to come out next year. It has just been delayed into 2028.
Two Tomb Raider games in 1 year is a little much.
But now they are both going to be in 2028 because they've both been delayed out of next year.
That's what I mean. It's like, we'll see this one in 2029.
And maybe. You may be right. Yeah. Because I didn't believe that both of them were going to come next year anyway. But I thought this one, the new one, would be the one delayed, and the remake of the first game would be the one that would come out next year. But now neither one of them are. So, unfortunately, here's the thing. Like, Amazon, it feels like it buys up these big properties and then just kind of kills them. Like, it almost feels like it's turning into EA, where it owns a bunch of stuff and then it can't get it together to release the games for the properties. It's had Lord of the Rings for how long now? We haven't had a Lord of the Rings game. Like, I don't know. It feels like Amazon is where gaming IP goes to die. So hopefully,
where a lot of things go to die.
Yeah. So hopefully that game gets finished, and hopefully the other one gets finished too. I still can't remember the subtitle. Something of Atlantis. But anyway, there's an update on the latest Tomb Raider. For those of you who are still angry about PlayStation killing discs and killing physical games, I know a lot of you were maybe angry when it was first announced, and now you may have cooled off and realized you don't care. But for those of you who are still angry and are pissed off, they are organizing something called the Power Down PlayStation Protest. So beginning on August 23rd and through August 30th, they are asking you to shut down your PlayStation and not turn it on for the week.
Joke's on you. I haven't turned mine on in 3 weeks.
You haven't probably turned on any consoles for a while. You're a big PC guy. One, do you think anyone's going to do it? And two, do you think it makes any difference to PlayStation?
I'm sure some people will do it, but no, of course it doesn't make any difference. They are not going to change their mind. It does not matter what you do. This is over.
I think this is why they announced it a year and a half in advance, to give all that time for even the most hardcore people to get over
to stop caring.
Yeah, to stop caring. Like, this whole thing was very well orchestrated by PlayStation. It's still radio silent. It's still on social media is not responding to fans and things like that. It's just, it'll post stuff, but that's it. And people will just carpet bomb it with comments about physical
burn yourselves
games.
out.
That's what they're doing, basically. They're like, go ahead, do it again. But in 4 months, are you going to do it again? You probably won't. And they're just counting on people just losing their gusto over time. And
like, what do you think's going to happen? They're just going to reverse course and like reestablish the contracts with the factories and like what for what?
Not going to happen.
For what?
I know.
Like, the numbers bear out that they aren't losing anything important if they get rid of it.
Yeah.
Like, they don't care about game preservation. They don't care about consumer rights. They don't care about any of that stuff. They just care about the bottom line, and the bottom line says stop making these wasteful products that cost more to make than just, having everything held hostage in your walled garden.
Yeah.
And that's that.
Yep. So anyway, there's an update on that. If you're still angry about it and you still feel like protesting, that's a good way to do it. I mean, if they're, let's say...
I mean, the way to protest would be to not buy GTA 6.
Yeah, that would be the best way.
Don't turn your PlayStation on that week.
That's a real sacrifice.
Let's see you do that.
Because that's the thing. It's like, that's a real sacrifice.
Yeah.
for a lot of people, just turning off their PlayStation for a week, it may be annoying.
Is there anything coming out that week? Is there anything even important?
I doubt it.
Did you pick that week because nothing
important's
important's coming out?
Probably because it was less painful, would be my guess. I think if, like, 500,000 people do it, and they don't spend a penny on PSN for a month, PlayStation will notice, but it still won't care. No. It'll be like, oh, okay. That actually cost us some money, but whatever.
You'll be like, oh, not bad.
Because then they'll do the math, and they'll be like, we'll save that in 1 month.
Yeah.
With no physical games. Or a week, even. So, again, we're putting this stuff out there for you people if you're interested in it, but
also note that
we're not saying it's going to work.
The Sony, like, PlayStation's, like, physical store, like, you can buy stuff from their website, it's all gone.
Yeah.
So, good job giving them all your money. To the point that they don't have any stock left anymore.
Yeah.
Like, that'll teach them.
Yep. And then the final little piece of news for housekeeping is that Far Cry 7 was just canceled.
I didn't know Far Cry 7 was announced.
Well, remember, we talked about it here on GameFace probably around a year ago. Something leaked out about how it had this weird setup where you had like 30 days to like do something or other.
Mm-hmm. To like rescue your family.
Yeah. And apparently...
Sounded a lot like Blood of Dawnwalker.
Kind of, yeah. And it sounds like it was actually an extraction game in some way, shape, or form.
What isn't at this point?
Right. Everything's an extraction whatever now. That's like the genre du jour. But it sounds like they ultimately did not want to go through with the extraction shooter, and that was smart, I think.
Yeah.
And so now they're going back to make Far Cry 7 what Far Cry has always been, which is an immersive, open-world shooter. So they wasted all this time. I don't know what the hell is going on at Ubisoft, Matt. What the F are they doing?
I don't know.
Who are the people making these decisions?
I mean, isn't it like... all those French people?
Yves
Guillemot and all those guys?
I don't know. I mean, I doubt Yves is like making big calls like that. Like,
I don't know. I mean, he's the head of the
company. I don't think he's canceling Far Cry 7 for like another Far Cry.
Hands-on.
I mean, it's a family-owned business.
And I mean, people I know that were working with Ubisoft and for Ubisoft have been asking the same question for years and years. Like,
what is happening?
What is happening? What are we doing next? Like, they don't know. They've been paralyzed by like fear for forever, like the executive wing of that company. I don't know what the deal. Like, yeah, sometimes Far Cry 6 didn't hit. Sometimes they don't.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I thought it was fine.
I mean,
it's certainly not middle of the pack Far Cry. Like,
I just didn't find the villain as interesting. Sadly, like because they spent a lot of money for that.
Spent a lot of money for him.
But I didn't think that he really resonated.
No, I mean he was fine, but just like every Far Cry villain, he's barely in it. Mm-hmm. Like because you can't just like...
It was more about the sun, really.
It's more about the sun, but also like all Far Cry villains are like that.
Yeah.
It's like they show up at the beginning, they kick you out in the open world, you hear them on the phone call
radio
every once in a while, and then you have a little showdown at the end.
Yeah.
Like that's
You're right. Yeah.
Except for Far Cry 3, where they insanely killed him off halfway through the game.
Yeah.
And then there wasn't really a villain for the rest of the game until the end, and then... what?
Yeah, that was a weird one. Especially how they build up the villain for that one.
He only has like 3 scenes.
I know, but he's like the most iconic villain
like this scene
in all of Far Cry.
This scene is good.
It really is. Yeah.
And it establishes who he is. And but
like
then like he just says, it cuts away periodically to him being an asshole to his son.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't know, just like every Far Cry villain, I think they're all underbaked because they're just not part of the story to any great degree.
Yeah.
I think the closest was probably 4, like or what's his name, Min. Troy Baker, like he interacted with you pretty regularly, like on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
At least felt like he was paying attention to what you were doing.
Yeah.
Most of the other villains in this series just sort of go off and do their own thing and forget that you're there.
Yeah, or you just deal with their foot soldiers the whole time.
That was the problem with 5. It was just like you were just dealing with the family the whole time. Yep. And it was just like, oh, good, another drug sequence.
Yep, where I walk really slow.
And everything's all trippy. And in the end, I'm just going to shoot you in the head. And that's what's going to happen, right? Oh, no, a magical panther. It's just like... I didn't like that one very much.
I didn't like Far Cry 6. And I know most people did not. It sold horribly. It's like the worst selling Far Cry ever.
I like 6 more than 5. I thought 5 was a huge waste.
Made it way farther in 5 than 6.
I finished 5. I did not finish 6.
Yeah.
But 5 was A, shorter, and B, wasn't as in competition with so many other things at the time.
That's a lot of it is the timing of when games come out.
I also liked the Far Cry 5, the 5 pseudo sequel more, the New Dawn or whatever.
Yeah.
I thought that was very good.
Those little side games were some of the best.
The side games tend to be better. Maybe they should have, unfortunately they folded the side game basically into 6 as DLC, and I don't think that was a wise choice. And it was just like returns to the villains of the previous games,
right?
Which again, who fucking cares?
Most people don't remember
them. They should have done another wacky. I mean, again, Blood Dragon, Primal, and New Dawn are like the best Far Cry stuff since 2. And you should maybe you should just make the weird one first, guys. Right. You ever think of that?
They also seem to sell better. So anyway, that's the latest on Far Cry. Far Cry 7 canceled. They're starting it all over again in the style of the old Far Cry. So now we can expect that for another 3 or 4 years. Yeah. So
if Ubi's even still around.
Yeah, right. Because Ubi already said it has no games for the rest of the year. Like once they put out,
who do they think they are? The PlayStation 5?
Right. Once they put out Black Flag Resync, they're like, okay, we're glad you liked it, but I'll see myself out.
Well, you just turn and run.
Bam! They just disappear in a cloud of smoke. So anyway, there you go. That's our housekeeping. Let's check in with you guys and see how you guys are doing on this fine Tuesday afternoon. Again, I hope some of you guys have the opportunity to go out and do some vacationing. Swan Senpai says, 3 was the last Far Cry I played. Hated it so much it put me off the series. Interesting. Wow.
I mean, if you love Far Cry 2, I can see why 3 would be a slap in the face to you.
Gune, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. I think that's correct. He actually brings up a good point. He says, or she, actually, I don't know if you're a guy or a girl, says, I care about physical media, but I know it's on borrowed time. I've moved on to advocating for digital consumer rights. I think that is what we should be doing.
That is the only option.
That's the only thing that might happen, where you can actually own at least the digital version of the game.
Make your situation better in that regard, because that is the situation that's coming, whether you like it or not.
Yep. Patrick Perez 3095 over on YouTube says, I went to collect a con and it was great. I couldn't find too many Magic vendors, but I got some good stuff.
Couldn't find too many Magic vendors, really?
That's kind of surprising. Bachby says, it's insane how the government is literally taking away people's generational homes, allowed to pay less than the value instead of making it up to them. Data centers is when communism is okay. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like when these data centers move in and they're really loud and they cause pollution and they take all the water or whatever. Like when people complain, the data center just says, okay, we'll buy your house.
I mean, it used to be called eminent domain. It's how they built all the freeways here.
Well, they're doing it right now with the border wall in like a bunch of states right now, where they're taking out like national parks.
Usually is the government doing that, though, not private companies.
Right, but the government is allowing the private companies to do it.
Right, that's kind of the unprecedented part there.
Yep.
Or at least, usually they're a little more careful about letting you know that's happening. And in this case, it's just like, no, they're just, who are you gonna, I mean, you've got people running the actual counties and parishes and towns being like, we don't care what you think. We're getting kickbacks from this, so we're just going to take it.
You can sit here and yell at me for the next 2 hours. And I've even seen people now getting arrested at these things just for like expressing their opinion. Like, things are so bad in America right now.
Are we learning yet?
Has anybody learned that elections have consequences yet? Has anybody figured that out? It's not like a little fun game that you play.
I can't believe that shot in Terminator 2 hasn't become more widespread as a meme. Because not only is John Connor talking to an AI when he says that, but he is literally jingling keys in front of it. It is the most perfect metaphor for what's happening right now you could possibly come up with.
Yep.
James Cameron, always ahead of the game.
Patrick Perez follows up and says it was all Pokemon vendors. Yeah, I mean, the money's in both of them right now. Honestly,
some more of the money's in Pokemon though. Although, like, if you can get a Cosmic Foil Infinity Stone, that's a $50,000 card.
Yeah. I mean, I watch those videos on YouTube every once in a while. Crypto Cody over on YouTube with a super chat. Thank you, brother. That is awesome. And Cody says, news that Double Fine just got hit with layoffs. Yep, Matt walked in just before the show started and said that they laid off a quarter of their staff.
Yep. 23 people.
And sadly, I think this is a story that we're going to keep hearing here over the next month or two as these studios that were kind of let loose need to rejigger their finances and figure out exactly how many employees they can support with the projects that they have. So it would be great if we heard of them hiring because they're like, we have this big thing we're working on, but I think it's more likely that they're going to be like, well, we need to tighten the belt a little bit here.
For the time being,
Yeah. Unfortunately, layoffs are a part of all that.
I mean, it beats the company folding, but...
Yeah. Yep. And don't forget, people, if you want us to read your comments on the show, go at SIFTD Games. It makes it easier for us to pull it out of the chat, just like Vincent here. He's talking about the Double Fine stuff. Double Fine just laid off a quarter of its staff. Yep. Wasn't Clint Hawking involved with Far Cry 7?
That's possible.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he was involved. He was involved on those teams. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Swan Senpai says, I'd be fine with disc going away if PSN wasn't a big pile of scutter. Yeah. And Gune Gune says, gamers need to stop whining and start advocating for digital consumer rights. You're right, Gune Gune.
Yeah, you're not going to turn the decision back, so that is the only way forward.
Yeah. Yep. Times in, you can't expect gamers to actually be held accountable. We just have to keep blaming the corporations, just like how they continue to put out half-finished games and people keep complaining but keep buying. I mean, it's just the age-old adage: you vote with your wallet. Money is all they care about. No matter what kind of person it is, they care about money. So if there's one angle you can always take when you're trying to manipulate a situation or make a change that you want, always focus on the money. No matter how evil and rotten a person is, money can still change their behavior. That's about it. So Gune Gune's right. Anything you can do to affect the money, that's the only thing that's going to make a difference, sadly. What else we got in here? MGS collection.
That's
from last week.
The shutdown. No, the shutdown week is the week the MGS.
The new collection with out. MGS 4. Yeah. Juan X Solo, my recollection is that the guy who would approve projects and really ran stuff was that one VP that kicked out for bad behavior or whatever back in 20. I'm not even sure what he's talking about there.
It was one of the lead people at Ubisoft who got removed for being basically a sex pest.
Oh, I do remember that, actually. Yep, I do remember that. That was quite a while ago now. Swan Senpai
sounds like they never quite filled that management vacancy after that.
Yeah. Swan Senpai says, I go insane living near those data centers. I've seen videos and it's just a whine that never ends. It's just whee.
Like I have enough trouble with my refrigerator.
And it just never ends. And there's nothing you could live in your home. That could be your family home.
There are things you can do.
But imagine if you have, like, so let's say the home your grandparents lived in, your parents lived in, and they gave it to you, and this is your family's generational home that your family has lived in for like 120 years, and there's nothing you can do to stop this. I mean, that's crazy. Imagine being those people and just being like basically thrown out of your family. It's crazy. Where's the freedom in America anymore? It feels like we're the least.
That's for companies.
It feels like we're the least free country on the planet.
Companies are people too, and they get to build their data centers wherever they want.
That's right. The Supreme Court said the companies are people. I forgot about that.
Citizens United. United with corporations who are also citizens. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah. You
can't infringe on the right of the data center to be where they want it to be because they're a person.
Yep. Swan Senpai says, burn the data center to the ground.
Good work, everybody.
Retro Modern Gamer, not sure if you will cover it, but did you see the server that Xbox uses to verify you bought your own game? Yeah, we're going to talk about that, Retro. We are on it because we're GameFace, and that's what we freaking do. Okay, we're just about ready to kick off GameFace proper, GameFace 490 proper, which is just freaking mind-blowing at this point. But before we do that, here's a word from our sponsor, the awesome LS Cream.
It's LS Cream, the fine cream liqueur crafted by fellow gamer and sifter Stevens Charles. Inspired by the Haitian drink crémasse, LS Cream delivers an award-winning experience with every single pour. One sip and you'll see why. It's a party favorite. The silky blend of fresh cream and premium neutral grain spirits mixes great with everything. I dare you to put a shot in your coffee. I've been drinking it for years and still, I find new combinations that taste incredible. LS Cream is the kind of drink that keeps surprising you thanks to its notes of vanilla, cinnamon, nutmeg, and coconut. Take it to any gathering and watch it steal the spotlight. We've never seen anyone resist. Ready to join the fan club? Head to creamls.com/sifted for recipes, retailers, and online orders. That's creamls.com/sifted.
I'll just tell you, I'm getting ready to mix up some LS Cream myself. This Saturday, there's this huge outdoor, I wouldn't call it a rave, but it's like in a park, and it's a bunch of DJs playing to celebrate the 30th anniversary of this production company throwing raves, basically. And it's just a big free-for-all. You can just show up. It's free. You don't have to pay. And so I'm already thinking about, like, what am I going to make to mix in my drink to walk around that party all day. And LS Cream and some ice cubes are definitely going to be a part of it. That's what I love about LS Cream. No matter what you're doing in life, no matter what you're celebrating, you can find a way to fit LS Cream into the drinks that you're making and the drinks that you are drinking. Go to creamls.com/sifted. I know you think about like a cream or La Creme style liquor and you're like, oh, it's a summertime. That doesn't work. It does work. I'm telling you, their liqueur blends so well with so many things. Throw some ice cubes in there with some LS Cream and some vodka and just whatever you want to give it a little twist. And I guarantee you that drink is going to be delicious. And I guarantee you on Saturday when I have my drink and I let somebody try it, they're going to want to keep it. Go to creamls.com/sifted. You can find bottles locally, online there. You can enter the LS Cream 5K challenge where you can win $5,000. It's all right there at creamls.com/sifted. Get some freaking LS Cream. Cream S.S. All right. It's time to get into the real show. The real GameFace 490. And as we always do, we're going to kick it off with the VideoGame.Town headline of the week. VideoGame.Town is a depository for some of the industry's very best writers who have basically either left or been laid off at some of the biggest publications in the industry. VideoGame.Town is creating a town of these people, bringing them all under one umbrella to let them write about pretty much whatever they want. And that is one thing I will say. If you go to VideoGame.Town, you're going to find articles about all kinds of stuff. Gaming, geek, nerd, all that stuff. If you like what we're doing, you like what we talk about here on GameFace, I guarantee you're going to love VideoGame.Town. Go to VideoGame.Town, T-O-W-N. That's the URL. Head on over there. They have a Patreon just like we do. Check out their Patreon. Support them if you can. Listen to their podcast. They're good people. They make great content. Go to VideoGame.Town.
I'd say they're a repository.
Right.
The depository makes it sound like they're the cryogenic prison in Minority Report.
You're right.
I'm pretty sure is not what they do.
Yeah, I was using the wrong prefix there for sure. Thank you for your clarification. Somebody else clarified something in chat just a second ago, too, that I want to make sure we mention. They said that, B. Fox claims that Legacy of Atlantis, Tomb Raider, Legacy of Atlantis, is still scheduled for next year. I didn't see that. I thought it was for 2028. So
I don't know.
Maybe I'm wrong on that.
Also, sometimes VideoGame.Town is like the name makes me think of like a Westworld sort of thing where you just go to a town and it's like all the game journalists still have jobs.
Yeah.
Like that's the fantasy.
Yeah.
It's like it's still a job you can do.
Yeah.
Like in like a normal like everyone can do it setting.
Yeah.
You know, basically it's like come live in 2004 for a while.
Yeah, seriously. Erebus Jones asks, why is VideoGame.Town not showing up in my SIFT? That's a great question. The first one is that they do not have an RSS feed yet. So our whole system is fed by RSS feeds, our back end that you guys never see. And they don't have one yet. And then the other problem...
How do you get that?
How do you get what?
An RSS feed?
You have to set it up.
Yeah,
your tech guy needs to set it up for you, basically. And they just haven't done it yet. So once they do, we'll actually absolutely bring them in. And then the other part of it is that... wait, I thought I had another reason. Maybe that's just it. They just don't have an RSS feed. That's really the problem.
That would be a key problem.
Yeah.
For the way Sifted works.
Yeah, we can't bring them into our ecosystem until they get their RSS feed. So that's the only reason, really. So we believe me, there's plenty of content over on there that we want to start bringing into our ecosystem. And we also, right now, we have an issue with adding sources to that thing. For whatever reason, is broken in our backend, and we're waiting for our tech guy to fix that. So that's another reason why. So there were two reasons, ultimately. But there you go. That's why. All right. It's time to get on with the headline of the week, and I kind of hinted at this a little bit earlier. It's the big news from Comic-Con 2026. We got the release date for God of War Laufey, and Matt, I really thought this game was going to come in like at the end of the year next year, like going to be a November release date, going to sweat whether it was actually going to come out or not.
They are usually early in the year. I didn't think it was implausible to think it would be later, but like I suspected it was going to be earlier and then slip.
Well, its release date is February 16th of 2027.
They seem pretty firm on this one.
Yeah, I mean they have a specific date. I mean, I think the game's done now.
I'm sure it's
and it's just polish. That's all they're doing now. I'm making sure there aren't any bugs and stuff like that. I like it. I like the idea of releasing more big games earlier in the year. So you said that they have done this before with God of War, is that right?
Didn't God of War usually like March or something?
I thought Ragnarok was November.
Maybe Ragnarok was, but I feel like the first one was earlier than that.
Yeah, maybe. I don't remember, actually. I don't remember at all when that one came out. But I do think I remember Ragnarok coming out later in the year. I think more of it was that, we just haven't seen any of it. So we got one trailer, and usually, the way PlayStation works, once you get the first trailer, you can count on another 8 years of waiting for the game to be done. I mean, look at Intergalactic. We've had that trailer now for what? 3 or 4 years, I guess?
Yeah, 2018 was April 20th.
And then what was Ragnarok?
And Ragnarok was November 9th.
Yeah. So they did one early and one late. So they could have done it right in the middle around the summertime. I mean, I think Capcom has proven at this point that releasing a game early in the year, not only is it okay, it can actually be a boon for your game.
Yeah.
I mean, Pragmata, I think I just saw it went up over 3.5 million sold or something for a brand new IP. Or maybe it was 2.5. But still, it sold very, very well. A brand new IP released in the first quarter of the year for Capcom has sold gangbusters. I mean, that thing's only been on the market for what, 4 or 5 months now? And it sold that many units already. A new IP. That is amazing. So not only can you release established franchises like God of War and do very well, because Capcom releases Resident Evil and Monster Hunter early in the year as well. I mean, you can also release your very biggest games in that period and not have to worry about it. So I think it's smart because, in all honesty, Matt, really all I care about is getting another PlayStation first-party game that I want to play. Because Sorrows came out this year. I mean, I played that for 10 hours, something like that, before I burn out on it. I wasn't really addicted to it. I mostly enjoyed it. But I'm talking about, like, banger games where you get it and you don't want to stop playing and you rip through it in, like, a few days, like a game I'm going to talk about a little bit later in the show today.
Now, to be fair, Ragnarok was not one of those for me.
Really? I did.
I never finished that game.
Oh, really?
I lost interest in that about halfway through.
What was it that turned you off?
It felt a little too much like the last one in a lot of ways, and it made me play as Loki too much. I did not like playing as him. I
mean Atreus, the son?
Atreus, yeah. Loki.
Yeah.
I did not just... his story was fine, but I just didn't enjoy playing as him.
I didn't either. I think most people agree with you. I think most people were like, man, like if you want him to hang around and let him do his own thing, that's cool.
And at some point I didn't get through one of his sections, and like the next day, like the question was like, well, do I load the game up and go back into that? And the answer turned out to be no forever.
Yeah.
Her gameplay looks more interesting to me.
Does it?
Certainly
it's different.
Certainly more interesting than his.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to top Kratos' gameplay. I mean, just the axe is an all-time game weapon.
That's why I kept playing Ragnarok. It just feels so good.
Yeah, I don't know, the loop I'd had enough of it at a certain point. And
I do feel a little bit like the recent God of War games maybe go on a little too long.
Yeah, I think
because the initial ones were like 10 hours long, and that was about perfect.
They were different games, though.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really think those are related concepts. The problem is just, like, I don't know. Like, there's a lot of bonus stuff in the new games. I guess, like, you can't, like, really add the optional content in there, but there's a point at which Ragnarok felt like it was going on too long. And I think 2018 was long, but it was just about right. And I don't think Ragnarok needed to be any bigger, and it was, and I just sort of burned out on it.
I really love how in interviews since they debuted this game, people have asked her like, "How are you dealing with basically the chuds?" And she's like, "They don't bother me at all." She's like, "I don't care because I know this game is going to be freaking awesome, and eventually they're going to have to admit that it's freaking awesome." And I love that approach. It's like, don't give them anything, man.
Well, also remember that she is like a legitimate nerd.
Yeah.
Like
I know.
She's a DM. She's like she knows ball.
I remember her mostly from the HBO Vampire show.
I mean, I always think of her as from Daredevil.
Oh, really? Yeah, that too.
She's Karen from Daredevil.
Yeah, but that was after. She was on 6 seasons.
She's been on tons of stuff.
What was that show called? The Vampire show on HBO?
True Blood?
True Blood, yeah.
Yeah,
she was on there for like 6 seasons or whatever.
I never watched that.
Dude, I got... that is one of my guilty pleasures, Matt, that I watched every episode of that show. I literally got hooked on it, and it was already over by the time I discovered it, so I was able to just watch the whole thing all in one run, and I did. It is definitely something I am not proud of. But that's what I remember her the most from, was that, because I watched like 5 or 6 seasons of her in that show. And then I remember her in the other stuff too, but I think what it is with celebrities or actors, you always kind of remember their first big role that resonated with you. And so to me, she's all about True Blood. But yeah, she's a total nerd. Like, and she's been around the block. She's been to Comic-Cons year after year. Like, I see why Sony Santa Monica chose her. And because also, I mean, I do think if
she said, like, they were talking to her about it, like, in 2018. Like, this has been in the works. They've been planning this forever. Like, this is clearly part of the original plan for this series.
I do think that going forward, if you're a game development studio, you kind of do have to figure out if the leads in your game are going to be able to deal with the chuds.
Yeah.
I mean, that is almost like an important thing to look at before you sign people on.
At least it's something to, like, let them know, like, you're going to run into. I mean, especially if they're women or people of color, you're going to be like, well, you're going to run into this. This is going to happen.
And you need to, because, you know, it could go really bad. Because if they react poorly, it could be really, really bad. Like, you could literally lose, like, 30-40% of sales on your game if they...
No, you can. That has never happened.
Really?
Never.
I'm saying if something crazy happened, it was like a total like meltdown, industry-wide thing that happened. Like,
I don't know what that would be, though.
Like her calling the chuds names or saying something crazy to them.
Nobody's going to care if she does. I mean, the chuds will care, but they're a small, loud group.
But you're saying that they would still buy the game after something like that happened?
There aren't enough of them to matter even if they even if all of them don't buy the game. You're talking about 100,000 people.
Yeah.
You're talking about nothing.
And that's probably what you need to tell your talent when you're working on a game.
And the person who can tell you that the most is Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
They spent a year hating on that shit and saying it was going to flop and die, and it's going to be probably the second biggest movie of the year after Spider-Man. So
that is probably one thing as a studio that you should tell the talent.
You do need to prepare the talent for this sort of dumb shit.
You need to tell them that like it's going to seem like it's everybody, but it's really not. Right. They're just really loud morons.
And it doesn't make your reactions or your discomfort with it invalid, but you just got to remember that this is a small, loud group that does not reflect the mass audience in any way.
She's already got that figured out. Because she knows. Yeah, she knows the game's going to be awesome, and she knows it's going to sell like crazy. So she's basically, F you, I don't care about you. Go crawl back into your hole.
And that is basically how you got to take it.
Yeah. Yep. And so the other part of the news...
It pisses them off, too. Brie Larson basically did the same thing, and they have never forgiven her.
Well, ignoring them, I think, is probably the best thing that you can do.
Yeah, well, what else are you going to do?
Because they just want attention.
I mean, there's no... You can't engage. Like, no one's going to change anyone's mind.
Yep. And then the other piece of news from Comic-Con is that they're already kind of working on the next God of War, and it is going to star Kratos.
Of course it will, because this is Laufey is a setup for the big finale.
Don't you think, though, that
wherever Laufey ends is where God of War 3, whatever you want to call it, is going to pick up.
That's what they said.
Be the big finale.
Yep, they said that it
will
pick up right after Laufey.
Laufey is going to give us a bunch of more information we didn't already have about what was really happening during these two games, and then we're going to be all caught up, and we're going to be going into whatever the big boom is.
Yeah. Don't you think it's interesting, though, that Sony Santa Monica felt the need to share that? Because it's never given a release date for its current God of War game and then given us the deets on the next one, that moment.
I guess, but it's just sort of like, man, we didn't realize you were this stupid, so I guess we just got to spell it out for you. Because I don't know, man, I said that the fucking day they announced this, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, this is clearly building to a big finale. Like this is going to be the thing that, gets us to where we're going, and then we're going to have the big last game that, like, blows the doors off everything, in which you will undoubtedly play as Kratos. And, like, I thought that was obvious. And because that's how, stories work.
Well, this is the video game industry.
And now, I guess, Sony Santa Monica's like, well, instead of listening to this bullshit for the next 6 years, I guess we'll just fucking tell them.
I mean, that's really what happened.
So here we are.
I mean, that's what happened. Like, they know that this game is controversial. I think it's even maybe a little controversial for, like, the non-chuds. People that just like God of War.
I haven't seen...
Well, they love Kratos. Sure. And Kratos is... You don't play Kratos. So I think they're just hedging their bets a little bit and just reminding people, like, hey, we're going to come back to this. This is just one game. And you're probably going to love it, but it's just one game.
I think they're just getting ahead of the idea that, because dumb normie people could see, like, chud shit where they're like, Kratos is never going to be in a God of War game again. And, like, there's like, no,
stumble across it on the internet, yeah. And then everybody thinks that Kratos is done or whatever.
But not a single human being I know who's a casual person who loves the God of War games has asked me why Kratos is gone or why they have to play as this other character. Because they know who she is, because she hangs over the whole fucking series. She's the reason these games are happening.
No, you're right. Yeah. I think a lot of people do not get that, though.
I guess not.
To be honest, I think a lot of people don't.
I mean, I know that's a running gag with the whole media literacy's dead thing, but geez.
Yeah. So, do you think that the next God of War after Laufey will have both of them in it? Do you think they'll figure out some way to like resurrect her or something, and she'll come back into the real world?
Clearly no one's ever really gone when your afterlife is so malleable and visitable. So yeah, I'm sure like clearly she's not where she's supposed to be, and you can always come back in these multiple world, Valhalla situations. So
I mean, she also says in the trailer that her goal is to get back, so that it feels like that's, as the player, that's what you're trying to do. So,
and they're all gods and demigods. Like the rules don't really apply.
Right? Are they ever really dead? Yeah. Like probably not.
How many times has Kratos died? I mean, he sure looked at the end of 3.
He did. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. And that is a little cheap too, to be able to just call back stuff like that.
Yeah, but that's just mythology.
Yeah, it feels a little manipulative of fans, though. Kill him off and then bring him back. But it's not just God of War and video games that do that.
They brought him back 5 minutes later.
Yeah, they did.
That's the post-credit scene, basically, in 3 was like, nope, not dead.
Yeah.
And we just like, oh, I wonder that'll be.
Are you more excited for Laufey or for the next one with Kratos and maybe her in it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not really. I'm not super excited about either of them because I don't know if I'm even going to like these games anymore. Ragnarok really did turn me off.
Wow, I'm really surprised to hear that.
Like
I really loved it.
I was just done with that. With
yeah.
This. I haven't even considered replaying 2018 on PC and just haven't because I'm like, I don't think I need to do that anymore.
It felt like it was a big enough gap for me between 2018 and Ragnarok. Like I was ready to play another one by then.
I mean, I wouldn't say.
But I will say, by the end of Ragnarok, it started dragging a little bit.
Yeah, it dragged for me a lot quicker.
Yeah.
And that was that.
Yeah. I hear you.
I'm not saying I'm not going to play Laufey, but it's like. And probably if you're going to ask me story-wise, I want to see how it ends. So I guess I'm more interested in the one after that, but only because that's going to be the big finale. Like, but you never know. Like, are you more interested in Infinity War or Endgame? Probably Endgame because that's the big finale. But I would say Infinity War is the better movie.
Yeah. Well, then what do they do with Atreus? If she's the sidekick, what happens with him? Does he go rogue and he turns into a bad guy? Who knows?
He is Loki.
All right. Yeah. It could happen.
Brings about the end of the world. And
it could be like Kratos and her against Atreus. Like that could be the plot.
That would be the most obvious way to take it. Yes.
Yep. So anyway,
or she comes. One of the things in this, that's a little too straightforward for Santa Monica. My guess would be that something that she does over the course of her game ends up with her sort of taking that mantle from him. Mm-hmm. So she's the bad guy.
Right.
And then so she's back. And Kratos is like, oh, my wife's actually alive. He's like, my mom's alive. But she's the enemy of everything now. Because she took that destiny from her son to protect him.
Right.
So now we got to figure out a way to make her herself again.
Noxator Knight has brought up a good point.
Which would probably, if we know these games at all, mean you're going to have to drive a boat a lot.
Yeah.
To get to the places that let you learn how to do this.
Which we're already familiar with.
Which would mean yet again the game is catalyzed by her, but she's not really in it too much.
Again. Noxator Knight says, nothing is more true to Greek myth than a trip to the underworld.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're not really dead, I guess. They're just kind of trapped someplace, really, is what it comes down to. And then he follows up with, truth be told, the slow story sections of Ragnarok killed a lot of replayability for me.
That's true.
We're about to talk about replayability when we talk about
I think about that. I think about maybe I should just try it again. And I'm like, God, I can't go through any more of these slow walks things. Like, I just can't do it.
That is the, for me.
Even watching this is annoying to me. It's like, can we stop doing the slow crouching, shimmying? I know you need the load time, but I thought we were supposed to be done with that now that I know this wasn't a PS5 exclusive or anything, but I'm just so done with that kind of. It's just so clunky.
Yeah. Again,
and God of War's not even bad about it. God of War actually does it pretty smoothly. Mm-hmm. But
lots of people in chat agreeing with our comment that the game's dragged on a little bit at the end.
Yeah, it's just a lot.
Yeah.
Ragnarok's too long. I thought, because I think I got tired of it right around the same length as it took me to complete the first game.
Right.
And the first game was over right about when I needed it to be over.
Yeah.
And Ragnarok was a little too much.
It was a little longer. Yeah, it was. Personally, I don't know which one I'm more excited for. I'm excited for both. I like the combat change for Laufey, how you can jump and you can juggle. And I do realize it makes it more like Devil May Cry or whatever, more like a character action game.
It actually kind of looks, to me, I mean, just because of the pedigree, I guess, it kind of looks more like God of War. Like the old ones.
Like the OG ones, yeah.
He was air comboing all day in those games. He just doesn't do that much anymore because he's a big, heavy dad now.
Well, there's no jump in the last two games at all.
He's a wall in the new ones, which is, fits the setting and all that. I mean, we don't know enough about the third one, the big finale one, for me to really have an opinion on it. I would say I'm excited. The thing that's interesting, the most interesting to me about Laufey is seeing the other pantheons. Is to seeing how other gods mix in with this world. Okay, we got Egyptian guys, we got like Aztec, we got Mongolian. Like what how does that work? That's, having all those mythologies kind of merge together and fit together is it's also the most interesting part of Stargate for a different reason.
I mean, I hope this cadence continues. I hope they go from like old school style game to new school style game and back and forth forever. Like, I'm totally cool with them alternating and one game be like more of the old throwback style of God of War, and then the next one be the action RPG.
I think this is it.
You think this is it for God of War, period, after these two games?
For a long time.
Really?
Yeah, I think the one after Laufey is the finale. Is the big finish. Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, you can always do more, but that will be they will close the book on this chapter of God of War, and if we see another God of War, I think it will be years from now. They'll do 2 or 3 more games, different games that aren't God of War, between that fourth one and the next one.
What makes you believe that? Because everything is coming to a head here?
Yeah, because that's how stories work. And clearly they have a plan, and that seems to be the plan. Like, it's the only thing that makes sense. The fact that you've told this whole story between these two games, and now you're going back to tell an alternate viewpoint of those two stories. The one after that will be the culmination of everything. That's basically, Rashomon.
Yeah.
Right? And then we'll find out what, all the characters have to kind of find out from each other what has happened to each other, and then we're going to have to come to some kind of resolution.
It's going to be hard for PlayStation to close the door on that cash cow.
If you just keep dragging that out, it's not going to be satisfying. It's going to wear out its welcome.
Because now, PlayStation...
Because I know that Cory Barlog knows that you have to finish a story.
Yeah.
Because remember, they did the exact same thing with the first series. They made 3 games, and that was it. Like, those 3 games are the story, and I know they did Ascension as a prequel, and they did like the PSP and the Vita game, like, et cetera, et cetera. But that's not my point. My point is, God of War 3 ended that fucking story.
Yeah, it did.
That was the end of God of War for a very long time, and that's that. Like, I think that's what we're going to be looking at here.
I wonder if PlayStation's going to allow that to happen, though, because if you really look at it,
if they don't, then it's not going to be Santa Monica making them.
Yeah,
I think Santa Monica is going to be done with this series for a while after that.
I mean, Sony Santa Monica is like, wait a minute, you let Naughty Dog create Intergalactic.
Yeah.
You let them create a new IP.
You're not making them make Uncharted forever.
Right. Yeah, you're not making them make The Last of Us either. I mean, they let them slide on that franchise too. So you're right. I mean, Sony Santa Monica has a great argument internally with PlayStation to be like, look, man, like, we've done our time. Like, let us do something new.
You got to keep these people, like, creatively engaged. If they're just making the same game over and over again, like, you're gonna slip in quality. Like, you got to keep people interested in what they're making.
Yeah.
And like, if they have more ideas, if they're like, we have ideas for 5 more God of War games right after this one, like, we don't even care. Like, sure, great, do it. That's fine if that's what they want to do. But at a certain point, you should let the team do what they're excited about, because you know what happens when you let them do that? Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, and they stay, and they don't go somewhere else.
And they make something that's really good.
And I'm sure PlayStation has learned at this point that it's not about the IP, it's about the people making the games.
Yeah, because they're the ones who are going to make something worth playing. And like, that's, again, Horizon Zero Dawn is their biggest new IP probably since God of War. And that happened only after they let Guerrilla Games free from the Killzone cage.
Yeah, after it had only made shooters for its entire history. Yeah, so, I mean...
We might be seeing a similar renaissance out of Playground Games if Fable's any good.
That's true, yeah. But, I mean, you're right. If you look back through history, Sony has allowed its studios to kind of do their spin-offs that they want to do. And
even when it was maybe a bad idea. Like, I don't think you needed to let Team Eco take that long to make The Last Guardian, but they did.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I saw this week. I think Shohei Yoshida said that the reason they cut that studio was because they didn't have a God of War.
Yeah.
They didn't have an IP that was a system seller.
No, they never did.
Yeah.
I mean, they made what I think is the greatest game ever made. But I mean, I think Shadow of the Colossus is still my favorite game of all time. But it didn't sell super well.
It sold okay.
It sold fine, but it didn't sell for what.
It's not a system seller.
It's not something. It's not a system seller. It's not like the kind of game you can afford to like just if that studio could churn those out every 2 to 3 years, that'd be one thing. But it takes them a lot longer than that.
Yeah, Shu said that they're not capable of making games that would move hardware, and that's basically why they were cut. So, I mean, the good news is with Sony Santa Monica, Naughty Dog, these studios.
If I was at Housemarque and I heard that, I'd be a little concerned.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, Saros, it was just discounted to $50 yesterday. It did not.
I mean,
sell.
are Saros and Returnal moving hardware? I would be surprised.
You're right. I mean, if there's a studio that's next on the chopping block at PlayStation, it's probably Housemarque. I mean, that's just the truth of it. So. There you go. God of War Laufey, make sure I get this right, coming February 16th of next year. And the next God of War will feature Kratos and probably some other people. When do you think that's going to happen? 2031? 2032? 4 years after?
Yeah, I would say probably 4 years after Laufey.
Yeah.
2031 sounds about right.
Long ways away.
Big finale on the PlayStation 6.
Yep. But we'll get there together. All right. Let's move on. We're going to talk next about Halo Campaign Evolved. I feel like I've been talking about nostalgia a lot lately, particularly on the boss fights in the Shane Satterfield show. I've been talking about how nostalgia affected my opinions of like Star Fox and older games. It just seems like it's a recurring theme.
There's a lot of remakes.
Basically. And this is a game that really tested that for me. The very first Halo, the campaign, being remade with modern technology and Unreal Engine and all that kind of stuff. Now, the first thing I do want to say before we start talking about this is that I was never the world's biggest Halo fan. By the time Halo came around, I had been playing Star Siege Tribes since 1998. I had already been playing open world multiplayer shooter 32 versus 32 with vehicles and bases for 3 years. By the time the first Halo came out. So when Halo came out, I was like, what's the big deal? And obviously the big deal is it was on console.
It's on console. It's a story, and you don't have to deal with other people.
Yeah.
Those are the big deals. And it was done cinema. I mean, Tribes is cool, but it's not the production value.
Oh no, there's no single player campaign in Tribes at all.
You had Marty O'Donnell's music. You had,
but
it was.
But here's the thing:
a sci-fi epic.
I wasn't talking about the campaign. Because the campaign in this is like 8 hours long.
Well, no one talks about the multiplayer in this game other than like the LAN parties because there was no online.
But that's what made this game popular, though, was playing the LAN party,
dragging the big Duke over to the
friend's house,
to the assembly center, and setting it up with a Sure.
I mean, because this again, the campaign was over in the blink of an eye. What sustained it was the multiplayer and the LAN parties, which is what I love about Halo.
See, I don't agree with that. I think the single player is what made this a big hit. The multiplayer was definitely a big deal, but people remember this because of the single player.
Well, they remember because of Master Chief.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
you're right, Master Chief is not in the multiplayer, but
I mean, we're all Master Chief in the multiplayer, right?
I think what made it like a thing that went on years and years, I don't think it was the campaign. I think it was the multiplayer.
It was the presentation.
And then to Halo 2, definitely it was the multiplayer.
Halo 2 definitely multiplayer. Halo 2 was that because they knew that's what had to be the next step.
Yeah, because
the split screen was great, and the LAN the ability to do LAN easily with that system was great.
Yeah,
Fusion Frenzy had a similar thing going on. But like that was the thing was like the promise of it was there, but Halo was the first big campaign presentationally, like a movie.
Well, other than Half-Life 2.
But on a console, and again...
But that's what goes back to what I was saying. On a console.
But Half-Life has nothing like what Halo did. At all. There were no open environments. There was no like dynamic shootouts. There were no.
No, I'm just saying it was a cinematic first-person shooter that was story-driven and had lots of cinemas, and it was driven by the plot.
Right, but it didn't matter because it never came to console. Well, it did come.
Again, that's what I said to start this. It's this stuff on a console. That's what made this a big deal. Because if you're a PC gamer, you've had this before. You got it with Half-Life 2 and then multiplayer
but again,
shooters.
PC gaming didn't matter then because it was so small at the time.
I'm just explaining why, to me, when Halo came out, it was not a big deal. And I was like, why does everybody else think it's a big deal? Because I had been playing superior multiplayer to that for 3 years.
See, that's a strange question to me because you at that time, you would have been aware enough of how the industry and the medium work to completely understand why it was a big deal. Because it's on console is the answer to that.
That's what I said.
And that's a huge... But then why ask that question?
Ask what question?
Why does anyone think this is a big deal?
Because I wasn't talking about the people who were playing it. I'm talking about the people who were talking it up and acting like Halo was like this crazy, innovative thing. It wasn't. Like, it was. On console.
Yeah.
But if you played PC, it was not. There was nothing innovative about it if you played PC games before that.
But it's innovative to put something on something else like that to make it work.
Right, that's my point. That's what I said initially when we started talking. It's about it being on console. It's the first thing I said discussing this.
But you just said it wasn't innovative, and it was.
It's not innovative.
It is.
Why? You borrowed other people's ideas and just put them on a different machine?
I mean, that's how Star Wars got made, so yes. But, like, what I'm also saying is that this isn't like Half-Life. Half-Life doesn't have big open environments and shootouts the way the enemy AI worked. And there was nothing like that in first-person shooters before this. That was the innovation in terms of gameplay. In terms of, like, a story-driven shooter, yes, Half-Life did that. But Half-Life didn't do it like this. Half-Life did the story-driven more forefront. Like, the action part of Half-Life was not as important as sort of the immersion and the... I mean, that's why Half-Life basically led to things like Deus Ex, because that was the natural jumping-off point there. Halo put you on a battlefield. And no story-driven thing had done that in Half-Life. Like, it was trying to mix these sort of... I mean, I don't have a comparison to that.
But there are open areas in Half-Life. There absolutely are, where the Striders are out in the open fields.
In Half-Life 1?
No, that's Half-Life 2. When did Half-Life 2 come out?
2004, 3 years after this game.
Was it?
There was nothing like this in shooters before this.
I'm just saying... It did not resonate with me. I did not find it particularly impressive. And the point I'm saying is, like, what I'm getting at is I'm not a Halo fanboy. So I'm not going to just, like, play this and be like, oh my God, this is the second coming of God in video game form. Like, I
didn't think that either because I was a Marathon fanboy, and to me, this was a step down from Marathon.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't a step down in the sense that Marathon didn't have the enemy intelligent... I mean, it wasn't intelligent, but, like, it tricked you well enough to make you think it was intelligent when you're running around chasing these guys around rocks.
Yeah. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. What's innovative about this was the animation routines of the enemies.
Yeah, and how they react to what's near them and all. I mean, they're not smart, but they give you the impression that they are doing something of their own volition.
Well, they built a lot into it. They're like, okay, if the player does this, then they do this. If they do this, they do this. In a lot of games, it's like they just have one thing that they do.
Well, and also they didn't have the bandwidth to do anything else. I mean, and Bungie had been messing with that on Marathon forever. Like, all the enemies in all the Marathon games do different things and behave differently. Like, you knew exactly, like, sometimes it was even down to the color of the enemy. It's like, okay, the green guys of this sprite act like this, the red guys of this sprite act like this. So like, that was the pedigree of Bungie. I found Halo to be a little shallow compared to the marathons. But you could tell it's by
I mean, that's a good way to put it for me, too, the multiplayer. I thought the multiplayer was shallow compared to Tribes, you know? It was a step down for me.
I wasn't really judging Halo 1 by the multiplayer because I didn't play a ton of it because it wasn't online. You know? Like, and I didn't know a lot of people with that Xbox. So we played split screen, but like sort of... It was very hard to get people to play split-screen multiplayer anything by that point because everyone would just be like, well, GoldenEye was more fun. Like, it was so hard to get anyone to move on from... I mean, Perfect Dark had that problem, too, where like GoldenEye kind of defined that experience, and it was very hard to get anybody to sort of like move on to something new. I think this probably succeeded at it better than any other console game, but like it just wasn't... Until you could play online, like, GoldenEye was the gold standard, no pun intended, I think, for console multiplayer.
I just remember after work, people were sitting there playing multiplayer till like 9 or 10 o'clock and didn't want to go home. And
yeah, well, I mean, if I worked somewhere that actually had a LAN set up for that, I probably would have done the same thing.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's affecting my impressions of what the original Halo was. The fact that I saw that every night, you know, after work.
I still find Day of Defeat annoying because that was what happened at G4 every night. You remember that? Like,
I do, yeah.
One of the weirdest things when we first got here.
Weird.
Like, oh, we're all going to play it. I'm like, oh, where are we going? You're playing that?
Yeah.
You play that every night?
That happened a lot. Like, I remember Crackdown was like a big thing at G4 for a while.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't get it. This game's not very good. But Kevin Pereira liked it, so everybody else thought they had to like it. G4 was an interesting time, for sure.
The people that were there before we were definitely had very different tastes in things than we did.
And then we moved in, and they're like, "Really, you don't like that?" And we're like, "No, that's bad." And they're like, "Oh, is it bad?"
Not into it. You want to go to the bar? Like, there are bars? Like, let us teach you the tech TV ways.
Yep.
My lads.
Well, this is Halo Campaign Evolved. It is a cooperative campaign remade in Unreal Engine for up to 4 players. And there is no multiplayer in this. So, we just talked about multiplayer for a bunch. There's no multiplayer in this at all unless you count the cooperative play. Now, people struggle to say what version of the first Halo this is. Some people say it's the 3rd version. Some people say it's the 5th re-release. Where would you come in on that?
I mean, I'd say this is the 3rd version.
Yeah, that's what I think, too.
I mean, there's the original, there's the remastered collection one, and there's this. I know some people think the PC version was different enough to qualify, but I don't. It's the same game with worse controls.
Yeah. Full disclosure for me, I have not played this since 2001. When the new versions would come out, I'd download them or buy them. I'd play the first level or 2, be like, okay, I get it. It looks a little better. And then I'd stop playing. So this is the first time I have gone all the way through the Halo 1 campaign since 2001, in 25 years. And first thing I'll admit is I forgot a lot about the story in this game. Like, a lot. Like, I forgot that, like, the main bad guy had assembled, like, a motley crew of, like, all the evil races from the Halo franchise. And, like, he had, like, created this coalition of evil to fight against Master Chief. I had forgotten so much stuff about this game. I started playing it again.
I think that might be new, because I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, very early in the game, what's the main bad guy's name?
The Prophet guy?
Yeah. The Prophet rolls up, and he's got, like, all the races with him. And they're all standing there with him, and there's, like, this big face-off scene where they talk about it. He's like, oh, I have all the races on my side, and all you have are your little armored Spartans.
Okay, so yeah, that's all new.
Is it?
Yeah, because the aliens didn't talk in the original Halo.
Really?
They didn't talk. You didn't understand what the Covenant were saying until Halo 2. That was like a big thing in Halo 2. It was all of a sudden there were scenes where you could understand what the prophets and the elites were saying.
Well, these are cutscenes.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, so
there was no dialogue, intelligible dialogue. I mean, other than like the comedy stuff, like the grunts were just like, "Rah!"
Yeah.
But like actual scenes with the Covenant, seeing the Covenant side of things, that came in Halo 2.
Interesting.
With the Arbiter stuff.
See, like I said, I can't even remember what was in the original game, but I think that's good because I
in the original Halo, the Covenant were kind of like a mystery. You were kind of like, what are these? Like, why? You didn't know what they were. They didn't know what they wanted or why they were the way they were or any of that.
Yeah.
And over time, as they developed the story and the lore, it turned out like obviously people higher up did know more than they were letting on, and just the people on the ground didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
That's a big part of the story in the first trilogy. But like, yeah, the first game, like, they were just these weird aliens that were trying to kill humanity, and you didn't really understand why.
Interesting. But I had forgotten so much about this game. It does feel a little bit like I'm playing it fresh for the first time, which I think is good. I mean, I'm glad 25 years have passed, and I can kind of give this game a fresh look and a fresh take with the perspective that I've gained over.
I don't think I've played it since the anniversary edition
really
came out. I don't remember when that was.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago, too. And I didn't finish it then either.
So they have made some tweaks to this. Now, one thing I will say is generally, this game feels very, very true to the original. Like, as me just playing through it, trying to remember what the original was like the stages and the levels, to me, feel very true to the original.
They look very accurate to me. I mean, I played through the first Halo 3 times. And granted, the last time was when was the anniversary? Like 2008? 2010?
2010, I think.
Actually, I guess it would probably been 2011.
2011, yeah, because then it's the anniversary. Yeah.
So it's been a long time, but I've been through the Halo game, the first Halo, several times. I haven't made it through the library every time.
Yeah.
But,
well, that is one part that they have. I wouldn't say fixed. Yeah, because
I know they worked on it. I don't know if we'll say fixed.
Some people actually didn't mind the library, but most people do. Most people point to the library.
The trick with Halo 1 was that originally it ended in the library. Like this is the story I was told. Was originally the game ended in the library. Like you got to the library and basically the big finale. You found out what the Halo was, and that was the game. And Microsoft was basically like, this is too short. It's like 4 hours long.
Yeah.
And this needs to we're not this is not a multiplayer. You can't then just switch over to the multiplayer like a PC game. So we need to engage people for longer than that.
Yeah.
So the solution to still get it to come out on time, was basically just to have you go backwards through the whole game, which is exactly what happens. Like you get to the middle, deal with the guilty spark 343 thing, and then like you turn around, leave the library, fight your way through the flood, and work your way all the way back to the crash site of the Pillar Bottom.
Yeah, that's true.
That's literally what the game is.
I mean, the whole game is that way too. Like a lot of times you fight into like a facility or something, and then you have to come back out. Like there's so many things about this game that like would never be done this way anymore. Oh yeah. Like the level design, like the level
you forget
design.
That, like that was one of the big changes in Skyrim, was that all the dungeons now have a shortcut back to the entrance every time when you finish the dungeon. Like the Oblivion doesn't have that.
Yeah.
Oblivion's like, walk back out, dumb shit. Like, it's like, you're the one who wanted to go underground.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the level design in this, a lot of it is like vertical. Like you'll get inside one of these big complexes or whatever, and you just keep going up, up, up. And sometimes you can just fall off a ledge. Like a grenade will hit you and knock you off a ledge, and you fall all the way down to the beginning of the level again. Again, something that is, there's just little things like that in this game where you're like, wow, I haven't seen that in 25 years. Because it's just interesting to see how shooters and just games in general have kind of
because now he'd have his grappling hook.
Right. So, I mean, seriously, like... It's crazy how much things have changed. So there are definitely some things in this that still feel old, but they have done a pretty good job of modernizing most parts of the game. Like I said, the library, which most people felt dragged on, it's way shorter now than it was before. The markings on the floor are way more obvious so that you don't get lost in there. So they have done some things, and then gameplay-wise, they've done a lot of stuff. So there's a sprint in this now. There was never a sprint before. There's a crouch in this. You can actually like use cover in this now, which does change a lot of the corridor shooting sections in the game, like big time. Like it actually makes a lot of them easier, honestly.
It would, yeah.
Yep. And then you can also take weapons from your allies in this, which was something that didn't come into Halo until Halo 2. But now you can do that in Halo 1 in this. So
I mean, there's a lot of stuff in Halo 2 that was like, why wasn't this in the first?
Right.
Because they just didn't have the tech or didn't have the time.
Right. I think a lot of it is just they ran out of time. Yeah. Like, oh, we got this done. We'll put it in Halo 2. I think that's probably what they were saying a lot.
And then Halo 2 was like, just stop here.
Yeah.
Just stop here. We'll do it in 3. We'll do it in 3.
Yep.
What about the thing we showed at E3? Fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck it. It's not in the game.
So you may not remember this because maybe you haven't played it or it's been so long, but this campaign's about 8 hours long. It did not take that long for me to complete it. I did play it on normal difficulty setting, and I died constantly. That's the other thing about this game that is not like games now. One grenade kills you in this game. Every other game has learned, like...
Which is also true of the Medal of Honors and Call of Duty of the time.
Yeah.
That was...
But
Medal of Honor Allied Assault was like that too. It's like, just keep throwing yourself against it.
Shooters have learned over time that nobody wants that. Nobody wants to die from one grenade blast. And in this game, it happens over and over. And enemies...
I think the peak of that was Call of Duty 3.
Yeah.
When like you just...
yeah.
Okay, boom. Yeah.
Yep. And so there are things about this game that definitely make it feel old. And things that shooters... You don't even realize that shooters have kind of evolved in that way until you play this and you realize, oh yeah, like they don't do that anymore. Shooters don't do that anymore.
So on Senpai, Halo 1 had enemy weapon pickups, but Shane's talking about picking up weapons from your allies.
So if
you can take weapons from the other Marines.
Yeah, so like after you save Marines from prison or whatever, they'll have guns. You can walk up to them, and I think if you hold X, they'll give you the weapon.
Yeah, that was actually... I remember them bragging about... Like, that was a bullet point for 2, that you could do that.
You've always been able to pick up guns off the ground in Halo 1. Yeah, and that's in this too, obviously.
Can you dual wield in this?
Not that I found. Okay. No, I think that's a Halo 2 thing.
That is a Halo 2 thing.
Yeah, I think that was one of their big features was dual wield.
But there's no reason you couldn't dual wield. I mean, I might make the game too easy, I guess, but...
Yeah, maybe. And so the gameplay
Master Chief
stuff,
didn't realize he had a left hand until Halo 2, apparently.
Yeah. So the gameplay stuff we talked about, the shortening of some levels, the tweaking of some stuff are the big changes. And then the biggest change of all is that they've added 3 brand new missions set a year before the main campaign. It's basically Master Chief and Johnson together. They go into this Covenant ship, they dock, you shoot your way through it, then you shoot your way back through it, get back to the ship, and leave. And the problem is that it's all based on one of the missions that's already in Halo. And it's like the third mission in Halo, and the odd part for me was I played that third mission, got through it, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to go and jump and play the new missions. And then I went to play those new missions, and they're all set in the same place as the third mission. So I ended up playing through those same areas with the same textures for a good, like, 4 or 5 hours straight. And that made a big impact on me, Matt. It's just like...
When are you supposed to play those? Before the game?
You can do it whenever you want. I mean, it's just there. It's an option in the menu, and
like, what would you like if
maybe
if someone had never played Halo before? What would you say where should they play those?
I mean, it's a prequel, so you should probably play that first. You know,
do they assume you know more about Halo than a normal person would know?
No, I mean they still do a lot of the teaching and stuff like that through the beginning of it.
Is that an effective like first introduction to Master Chief?
No, I think people will enjoy it. Well, here's what I was getting at: is I don't really like the extra missions all that much. It's very repetitive, and you're in the same environment all the time, and you fight to one end of it and then fight back to the other end of it. And the base game is way better. Just the variety, the jumping around, the gameplay variety. The other thing, too, it was just like you and Johnson. So it's you and him, and he shoots, but he doesn't really kill anything. But you can use him to kind of distract enemies if you want to. And so there's like kind of
Halo has always been weaker when it went inside.
Yeah. And so there's that dynamic where it's just like co-op the whole way through with Johnson. Whereas in the base game, you do all kinds of stuff. You're piloting vehicles. You're piloting spaceships. Now there's a gunfight. Now you need to rescue these people. Like... It really switches stuff up. The brand new missions don't do any of that. It's literally just shooting from the minute you get into the ship until the minute you leave the ship. And I will say this, at the end of the extra missions, there's a really, really, really cool mission that they've tacked on that's unlike anything else. And I'm not going to spoil it. And it mostly is worth fighting through the 4 hours to get to it, but probably not. But they do cap it off with something really, really cool, like the extra missions, that I won't spoil here. I'll let you guys find it out on your own. But yeah, the extra missions in this, the other thing too is that like they don't feel like they were made differently from anything else. So they don't look better. Like it's the same engine, same character models, same everything. So it's not like it stands out. Like they made this now, so it looks better than the stuff that was made 25 years ago. It all looks the same, which is probably the right approach, I think. But yeah, so those are the big changes for this as far as like the tweaks made from the original. For this also, obviously, they removed the multiplayer, which is a big deal. There is one really cool scene, too, in the extra missions. So a big part of the mission is you're trying to rescue this group of Marines that are being held hostage. And eventually you rescue them, and you meet the leader of the Marines, and it's this female Marine. And she is just this total badass who does not give any quarter to Master Chief. And they get in this little spat or whatever, and she finishes the altercation by saying, you know, we earn our reputation in the Marines. We're not just a big piece of armor and a marketing campaign. And like, she delivers that line and starts walking away, and everybody in the group walks away, and Master Chief just stands there by himself like, damn, like she just blew my ass out. And then he does this little like thing with his head and then starts following people. And then later on, after you finished all the missions and everything, and he's just kind of communicating with her, like, he basically admits, like, you're a freaking badass. Like, you know, I'll fight with you anytime. Like, it's just really great. Like, having played through the whole campaign, there's no moment in the OG Halo campaign like that. And so that is one other kind of shining moment in the new extra missions, beyond the fact that they're just very repetitive and basically just a rework of something that's already in the campaign. What else? Yeah, so the mission I was talking about is Truth and Reconciliation. That's the third mission. I played through that. Then I played the extra missions, and they're held in the same exact environment. And so it was like 4 or 5 hours of Truth and Reconciliation, which was just a little bit too much. By the end, I just wanted it to end. And then there was that extra thing tacked on at the end. I'm like, I'm glad I made it to the end of this, and I actually got to play this.
You could always crouch in this game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it just doesn't matter.
You could crouch in Halo 1?
Yep, you click the left thumbstick.
Interesting. Because in this, it's the B button.
Mm. You could. It just didn't.
Wow.
It just didn't do anything.
Oh,
really.
interesting.
You never needed to.
I did not know that. I thought
it was
that
sort of
fun.
like I don't think you could jump originally either, but they added it because everyone wanted to be able to jump in the focus testing.
Oh, you mean their original design? You couldn't jump.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So anyway, it's now as far as the main
you couldn't
campaign...
jump in Marathon either.
Oh, you couldn't?
No, Marathon. Like there was platforming in Marathon, but you had to basically run off things and land on them.
Yeah.
So, and I think Halo was planned to be the same, but people in Focus said, like, why can't I jump? So they added jumping.
Yeah.
Probably smart.
Yeah. Now, again, having played through this campaign again, like, the plot is just really ham-fisted, and you can find holes all over the place if you really think about stuff. It's just another one of those things where you just kind of turn your brain off and just go through it. But, like, a lot of the dialogue is stupid and banal, and, yeah. I mean, it's an action film, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's aliens.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
It need to be more than that.
Yep.
I mean, it's certainly not in 2001. Maybe it needs to be more than that now.
Yeah. And then I did find like some graphical anomalies in this, like places where textures were kind of bugging out, places where textures looked awful. Because here's the thing. This game looks way better than the original. I mean, you're watching this B-roll. Yeah. You can see it for yourself. But it still is not like a top-shelf game graphically. Like, it's not going to win Graphics of the Year. It wouldn't even have won Graphics of the Year 5 years ago, in my opinion. So it's a pretty game, but it's not like top shelf. And there are moments where the scenes show a little bit, and you can kind of see that it was an older game. Like there's certain textures that they don't gussy up as much as the others. Like it does feel like they put a big emphasis on the character models, and they look great. The environment stuff can look a little rough here and there, but still a great looking game. Obviously a gigantic improvement over the OG and the other versions that came after. Like, this is definitely the best looking version of the first Halo game, without a doubt.
You would hope.
Yeah. Now, as far as, like, general impressions, like, I think the biggest issue for me, and it was, I'll be honest, it got really hard to finish this campaign. Because even though I didn't remember everything, I remembered enough that when it just got to the point where I was just dying over and over, because it's not even just the grenades. Like, another thing that's old about this game is how enemies spawn. Like, they'll throw you into a big-ass room, and enemies just keep spawning over and over again. So you can park yourself, like, next to a doorway or whatever, and the enemies just keep spawning in that doorway, and they'll appear right in front of your face and just start shooting you or whatever. Like, the way that they hide enemies now in the monster closets in shooters is way different than the first Halo was. And so there's that kind of weird stuff, too. Like, you'll be fighting with your back against a closed door. The door behind you opens, and there's 8 dudes, and they just melee you and kill you. Like, that stuff happens all the time playing. I don't even know how many times I died playing this campaign, because it just happens over and over. Grenade, 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 another grenade. Oh, energy sword by a guy who's cloaked. Like, sometimes you come around a corner. It's a little bit like Souls-like in this game in some ways. Like, sometimes you come around a corner, and there's an elite cloaked with an energy sword standing there. And you come around the corner, and he just stabs you right in the heart and kills you. And generally, the checkpoints in this are very, very generous. Almost ridiculously generous. Like, it checkpoints so often that sometimes you start a checkpoint, and you're, like, looking at the sky or looking at the ground. So it does, for the most part, it does checkpoint a lot. But then, like I said, when they throw you into these big rooms where you have to fight, like, 8 waves of enemies of, like, you know, hunters and the most dangerous enemies in the game, like, if you don't finish that whole room and you die in the middle of it, you got to start it all over again.
Yeah, I do remember that in the original was, like, it checkpoints when
you kill everything.
When there's no combat. So if you just keep rushing, you know, and that it could happen that, like, you're in a firefight and the firefight kind of moves along to kind of the next area where new enemies start popping. So you could accidentally, like, not checkpoint for 40 minutes or something. You've been through, like, 3 areas, and the combat never slowed down enough for you to really, like, get a checkpoint. So it became a point where I was like, all right, I'm going to kill everybody and stand still for a while until I see that checkpoint thing pop up, and then I'm going to move on.
Yeah. So for the most part, the checkpoints in this are great. But every once in a while, in those big room battles, you do get screwed. And you'll have played for 20 or 30 minutes, and you'll have to do it all over again. And the crazy part about it is, like, there he is talking. That's him right there.
Yeah, that
was not in the first game, the original?
Well, this whole scene is not in the first game because this is some of the new stuff.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
The Brutes were not in the first one either.
Yeah. Well, they're all standing there with him, too. And I was confused. I'm like, man, I don't remember those guys being in the first Halo at all.
Because they weren't.
Yeah, it's crazy. They're from 2. But, yeah, so, like, the way the enemies spawn in this, that also kind of reveals, wow, I can't believe they put that in the trailer. That's like the last, wow. Wow, they put some stuff in this trailer. That's all I'm going to say.
They don't care.
Yeah.
There it is.
But wow.
Yeah, they already showed it.
I did not realize that. They put a lot of spoilers in the trailers for this. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's hard to spoil the 25-year-old game.
But it is now because they put a bunch of new stuff in it. But so anyway,
they want you to see the new stuff so you buy the 25-year-old game.
Yeah, you're like, what's that? Yeah, you're probably right. So anyway, like the enemy spawns in this are weird. There's just all these contrivances that you haven't had to deal with if you've been playing modern shooters all this time that you do have to deal with in this. They haven't changed everything to make it feel like a modern shooter, but it definitely feels more modern than the OG for myriad reasons. But the repetitive enemies, that is the biggest detriment to me in this game, is that you fight the same enemy types over and over and over and over again. Like, those extra missions that run for like 4 hours, you fight the same guys the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, in the original game, what were there?
There's, what, 3 or 4 races, I guess?
There's four Covenant races, I think. There's the
yeah, I just count the Covenant as like 1.
The Grunts, the Vultures. The Covenants are 4. The Grunts, the Vultures, the Elites, and the big guys.
I'm talking about like Covenant, Flood, like races.
You got to count each enemy type as a different enemy.
Yeah.
Like, there's 4 different enemy types in the Covenant.
Yeah.
There's
3 in the Flood,
3 in the
right?
Flood.
Yeah.
And
that's pretty much
take care. Yeah, basically. Yeah. That's it.
I mean, I'll just say I dragged my ass across the finish line playing this game.
So 7 enemy types with vague modifications by color between each,
and aggressive in what weapons they have.
The orange grunts are not the same as the blue grunts, which are not the red grunts, etc.
Bottom line is it gets real repetitive real fast.
I mean, that is kind of Halo.
By the time you're at hour 3 or 4, you're like, okay, I fought this same dude like 800 times.
It's like, empty clip, a melee to take the shield down, you're done. Like,
last few missions,
the same
I just started running through the levels. And you'd be surprised. You can run through a lot of this game.
I would not be surprised, because that is how you used to get through all the Flood stuff. In the first
really?
game. Yeah, that's.
I always fight
baseline.
the Flood. I think the Flood's really fun to fight, so I always fight them. But after the last like 3 missions, I literally just ran through them. And there are some rooms where you get to where you do have to clear out all the enemies before you can go forward or whatever, because they'll lock the doors.
Yeah, but if you don't have to, there's no reason.
Yeah,
to stick
I just
around.
ran past them, and they don't follow you that far either. The enemies, like they get to like a border and they just stop, and so. I got bored with this game after a while, in all honesty, and just kind of wanted it to end.
Juggernauts? Were they called Juggernauts?
Those were the guys with the heavy armor, I think.
Yeah. What are the things with the worm colonies that are in the big armor?
Oh.
Yeah, they're in the footage here.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't remember what their actual nickname is. That the human nickname, because we don't know what they're called yet.
The hunters in this are the enemies that you really got to watch out for, because they basically shoot rocket launchers. If you're in a small area...
That's what they are, hunters.
If you're in a small area, you can take them out pretty easily in corridors. If you're in an open room, it's really tough. Like, because if you get out in the open, they're just going to hit you with a rocket and kill you in 1 or 2 shots. So
the jackals are the snipers.
Yeah, the jackals are the guys that have the shields with the sniper rifles. Yeah. Yep. But trust me, you will get sick. And that's the other thing you don't realize. Like, back in 2001, we were okay fighting the same 8 things over and over again. Like, it's another part of games and shooters that have changed over time.
You can only fit so many things, and although at the flip side, you're like, how many different human beings have you shot in a Call of Duty game by the end of it?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I actually don't know how many human character models they have in Call of Duty. That'd be interesting to know, actually, how many.
They're all the same person, the same enemy. Yeah. Like, it's not like you're fighting.
They don't act differently.
Yeah, you're not fighting them as differently as you would like an elite versus a grunt versus a jackal.
Yeah.
But part of it is like, because it's so easy to kill a person in those games, you don't think about it as much as like, okay, now I got to fight these things again. Like, you got to do a certain thing to kill a jackal, especially when they got the shields, and that is somehow more annoying than just shooting the 500th guy in the head.
Yeah. I don't shoot them. I just melee them and take their shield away, and just melee them again and kill them. Because trying to shoot through that little hole in their shield just gets annoying after a while.
That's what the pistol's for.
Yeah.
The pistol's still the best weapon in the game?
The Magnum's pretty effective. Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I feel like they did a good job balancing all the guns in this. Like, the battle rifle is good. The assault rifle is good. The needler.
Battle rifle's in this? Yeah, they added that?
Yep. Right. The needler is good. Plasma gun's probably the only one I don't like using all that often. But it feels like you can be effective with all of them.
Plasma gun has its moments. You got to take a shield out.
Yep. If you hold it in and charge it up before you fire.
Or you just rapid fire it. It takes the shield down faster than like a ballistic weapon does.
Yeah, but if you hold it in, you get that blowback.
That, but who has time for that shit?
Exactly. That's my point.
You just take the shield down, switch to the rifle, and shoot him in the head.
Yeah.
That's basically what you do.
Another really cool thing about this version is that all the bodies stay behind.
Huh.
And it gives you a new perspective on Halo and Master Chief. Because, like, as I said earlier, and you even mentioned it, like you fight into something in this, and then you fight back out of it. So you're constantly seeing the carnage that you have left behind, and it is startling.
They call him the demon for a reason.
They do. The demon, what else do they call him? There's some other name that they call him all the time. But anyway, yeah. I mean,
that stuff was also part, like what just happened there with the grunt guy. You hit his air tank and
he flew around.
The physics were unprecedented.
At the time, yeah. Also, I think the NPC chatter in this is new. I think they've recorded new voice lines.
I'm sure there's, because I don't think the stuff they had from before would have been high enough quality for a modern sound system.
They say some crazy stuff. And the other thing, too, is that, like, I forgot about this game that ended up becoming a little bit different as the series wore on, was their awe of Master Chief. Like, Halo 2, 3, 4, they'd be like, oh, it's the Chief. Oh, he's a badass. In this, they're like, holy shit, it's freaking Master Chief walking onto the freaking ship right now. Like,
because they've never seen a Spartan before.
Yeah. They are blown away. So he's a god to these people. Like, it's really interesting to go back and play this again and see how he was viewed in the first
Thanks
game.
to that marketing campaign.
Right, exactly. Nice callback there.
I mean, that's from the books. That's like they worked real hard to impress on people that the Spartans were going to save humanity, and then all but one of them gets killed.
Yeah.
And so, well...
Yep, didn't quite work out that way.
It's also easy to forget when you're playing in first person that, like, he's like a 8-foot tall monster to that. Like, look how, I mean, like, people couldn't even hold a pistol.
That's another thing, the scale in this. Like, seeing a human stand next to, like, a hunter or an elite in this was like, whoa. Like,
yeah, they're very big. You don't realize how big the Covenant character. I mean, the grunts are about the same size as a person.
Yeah. It's interesting.
They just don't look it because Master Chief is so tall.
Yeah. But leaving the bodies behind put Master Chief's violence into a whole new perspective for me. I was like, dude, he is just a freaking murderer. Like, he just leaves behind hundreds and hundreds of dead bodies everywhere he goes.
I mean, they do attack him.
Yeah, and they do initiate. So he is the demon.
They're just trying to get away.
Yeah. But my biggest complaint is the repetitive enemies, which makes the combat feel rote and like just so you're doing the same thing over and over again for way too long. Like, there are parts of the OG campaign where, like, you pilot the Warthog or you fly a ship. They are just few and far between and way too fleeting. Like, they last like 2 minutes and like, okay, here's this place where you can't get the vehicle through anymore. You're gonna have to get back on foot. So it's more varied than what you get in the extra missions, but still, the game just starts to grind on you after a while. And like I said, the last few missions, I just started running through them. Because the other thing is I knew the plot. I knew what was going to happen. So, I don't know. I was just like, I need to finish this at this point, and that's what I did. So, that's Halo Campaign Evolved. One thing I will say is I never did play it cooperatively. Because you needed to... could not find a way to just match up with somebody, just randos, online. Like, you had to, like, choose people from your friends list and invite them into your game. I don't know if I just missed it, but I couldn't find a way to just jump in and play with other people, so I played it pretty much solo. But the thing is like, you don't really play it solo because there's always NPCs fighting on your side. Sometimes it's just one person, sometimes it's like 2 people plus a whole group of Marines that you saved.
Yeah, that was also one of the things that Halo did nothing else had done yet. Certainly in terms of taking them from place to place, from scene to scene. Obviously, you had soldiers next to you in Medal of Honor Allied Assault, but they didn't like...
Well, they remember if they die.
Yeah, they didn't team with you.
No, because they'll fight with you, and if they die, they're dead.
Yeah.
Like, they don't magically reappear when you get to the next area. Like, and so if you rescue, like, 5 of them, part of the fun is, like, seeing if you can keep all 5 of them alive. It doesn't matter in the end, because when you get to the cutscene, it shows, like, 80 dudes piling onto the ship that you saved. But it's just kind of a little fun thing to add and to add up the difficulty. But yeah, I did not get to play it cooperatively. So I didn't get to see how they scale it and if they add more enemies and stuff like that. I'm guessing they would.
I don't know if they could. Like,
there's already so many.
A lot of enemies.
Yeah, there is.
That's way more than in the original.
There are. I mean, it's hectic. You get in those big room battles, it's crazy. There's like 5 hunters roaming around and like 10 elites and like grenades. It's just insanity. And so you just die. Like, one of my notes in this is, die, die, die. Because you just die constantly in this. And I think that could be frustrating for some people, too, who aren't, like, Souls-like fans or just play Call of Duty or other shooters where you, like, die, like, 5 times through the whole campaign.
I'm sure someone's already done a no-death run.
I know, I'm sure. I don't know how. I don't know how you could do it. Like, I really don't. Because it's like, you're fighting somebody and you just blow up. And there's no indicator that says grenade, grenade, grenade. You just blow up.
There isn't?
No. And then in the cutscene...
There's no grenade indicator in this game?
I don't remember seeing one. And if it is, it's subtle. It's not like some big thing that says there's a grenade under your feet or anything like that. And so you just blow up, and then they show you the replay, and you see this grenade roll in behind you right to your feet and go boom. Like, I don't know how.
Gotta keep moving.
Like, I would actually be interested to see if somebody can complete this no hit. No die.
No hit, I don't think.
Yeah, no hit. No die, though.
Sure.
I would love to watch that. Because you would have to memorize every enemy spawn location for every skirmish. Because like I said, they just spawn out of thin air and right behind you. And they just shoot you in the head or they melee you and they kill you. So you'd have to memorize when and where all the enemies are going to spawn.
There you go. Halo campaign Evolved Legendary No Death Run.
That's insane. That is insane.
I mean, that is...
Kudos to whoever that is. That's all I got to say.
That is generally a... one of the it's one of the challenges in these games.
Yeah. You know what? I did not find a single frickin' skull playing through this. Not one. That's crazy now that I think about it. I did not find any. Huh. Nuts. I've played Halo on Legendary in the other difficulty settings. It's just... it's not fun, I guess is the way I would put it. And it is all memorization. It's going into a room. They spawn here. You got to deal with these people. Then they spawn at this doorway. You got to deal with these people. Then you can move forward. Oh, but turn around because now they're going to spawn here behind you. That's really what it's all about. It's hard to even just stay alive on Legendary, honestly, let alone not dying at all. So there you go. That's Halo Campaign Evolved. Let's bring up the chat and see if you guys have any questions. I think the game went on sale today, right?
Yes.
This morning?
It went live at like 9 a.m. this morning.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah. Devin Danger. Sadly, I don't feel he went into the review trying to appreciate the merits of the OG and whether the remake's update has value on it. So here we go. I have literally no bias for anything, dude. I review everything like I've never looked at it. I know it may be hard to believe in fanboy land, but it's the truth, dude. I have no favoritism to anything. And it's hard. It makes people hate me because I call stuff out for what it is. And people are like, I hate Shane. Here's something funny. We got a message. We got a comment on a Pactor Factor episode this week. And this is kind of like the overall like fanboy ideal here. Somebody wrote, Pactor's stupid. Doesn't he realize that he's saying stuff that gamers don't like?
But being an analyst doesn't mean saying things people like. It means analyzing things.
That's the perspective. And that is, honestly, Matt, that's why our show doesn't do 500,000 views, dude. Because we don't pander to fanboys. And we never have, and we never will. There's plenty of places you can go. Go to xboxupmybutt.com, and I'm sure you can find somebody who's going to gush all over this. I'm just telling you the truth as somebody who played this game when it came out and played it again 25 years later and has played a shit ton of games in between and a shit ton of shooters in between. So that's all I can say about that. Did you try third person from Ryan117 Smith? I did. No. It does help you. Like you get the typical advantages of third person, meaning like you can look around corners. So maybe that would have helped with some of that elite placement where they have them like cloaked and you come around a corner and they just stab you in the heart and kill you. Maybe if I was playing in third person, I would have looked around that corner first and saw the shimmer of the cloak or whatever. But it's Halo. You don't play Halo that way. You're running and you're gunning, trying to stay alive, trying to melee, trying to stick your grenades. Like it's just not the way you play it. So it's cool that they added it for people who want it, but I would never play that way. But I did check it out just to see what it was like, and I kind of knew what it was going to be like, and I was right.
Okay, SKN, he stated his bias. You already had a game at a certain place in your mind. You were not open-minded. You admitted as much. So what? Like, even if that's true, so what? He stated his bias openly up front. You understand where he's coming from, so you can adjust what he said about the game to fit how you see things. Like, that's what a review is. Like, everyone is biased. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone is subjective. All reviews are subjective. There is no such thing as an objective review. Someone being upfront about their experience with Halo or whatever they're reviewing gives you the context you need to make their review contextualized with how you see things, and that makes it a useful review. I will always go back to Mick LaSalle, who I never agreed with in the San Francisco Chronicle about movies, but every time I saw something he didn't like, I was like, I bet I'll like that. And usually it was right. And that made him a useful critic.
Yeah.
I don't need to agree with him. I just need to get information from him.
People throw around the word bias on the internet, and they don't even know what it is, and they use it incorrectly. Like, that is my opinion. It's not a bias. It is my opinion of the game, having played the game. That's it. It's not a bias. I played the game. Those are my opinions on the game. That's it.
And it's a pre-existing opinion on the original game.
Yeah.
Like, that's just what it is. Like bias implies that he didn't come to the correct conclusion.
See,
which is not what a review is.
This is, for Xbox fans, this is the holy grail, Matt. This, without Halo, there is no Xbox fanboy. This is the origin story of the Xbox fanboy, Halo 1. This is it. So for me to say it's not actually that good, oh my God.
I thought the origin story of the Xbox fanboy was Fusion Frenzy.
Maybe it should have been.
And Nightcaster.
So they can't handle it. But other people who aren't Xbox fans, they're going to play this game, and they're going to be like, Shane was right.
When's the Azuric remake?
Yeah, exactly. I'm biased on that. I'm not going to touch it, though, Matt. Thank you, Million Miles Away, for Twitch Prime, brother. Appreciate you. Fire Native, how dare you, Shane?
You know, every once in a while, and I don't mean this as an insult to Kina, but every once in a while, Kina and the Bridge of Spirits made me think of Azuric.
Oh, really?
Very, very, very vaguely, in the sense that, like if it had come out in that era, it would have been one of those terrible third-person 3D games that didn't quite understand how cameras worked.
Yeah.
But it was just it was like, it made me think sometimes like, oh, this is like how good this kind of game is now versus like, you know, back in the day you would have gotten like Nightcaster 2 and just had to live with it, you know.
This, I mean, look, this is special to Xbox fans. This game is, and I'm sorry, it's just not that good. It was good when it came out 25 years ago. It's not good now.
And in that context, it's worth probably celebrating and playing again and remembering all that.
If you love it.
But also, people forget, or maybe didn't experience because it wasn't as widespread at the time, when this came out on PC gamers were just sort of like exactly what you said, like, so what?
Yeah.
Like, okay, like the open areas are pretty cool, but like the mouse control sucks somehow, which is weird.
That is weird, yeah.
Because it wasn't built for that. And like PC gamers were completely unimpressed by that game when it hit PC. Like you know, like I think,
especially by the time it hit PC.
It was years later, obviously, because things had already come out that were influenced by it, etc. Yeah. But like, you know, and I don't really agree with a lot of that because there was a lot of innovation in Halo that did carry over to PC games later. Like certainly, Half-Life 4 would not have been what it was without Halo existing. Like the obsession with physics in Half-Life 4 and Half-Life 2 was.
I was like, wait, Half-Life 4? I'm like, did I go into a
no? That's later this year.
Time capsule.
The obsession with
you must have unfroze me for this podcast.
I was thinking because I was thinking 2004.
Yeah,
because that's when Half-Life 2 came out.
Yeah.
But the obsession with physics is definitely part of like kind of the evolution that Halo started.
Well, you see Half-Life 2 with the gravity gun, which is all physics driven.
Yeah, the whole thing was like, oh, we can mess with it. We can make this the game rather than just like a cool thing that happens every 15 kills like in Halo. PC gamers was like meh.
Yeah.
Like, and some of that was just like PC elitism over like console stuff. Like, you know, no PC gamer worth their salt would admit that anything on console was worth playing, you know, and all that. So that was all part of that sort of weird rivalry back then. And the console players a lot of times were unaware of it because they were too busy fighting each other.
Yeah. I mean, look, anybody reviewing this for an Xbox fan is pointless. You guys bought it. You bought the collector's edition. You finished it 4 times already, and the game didn't even come out yet. Like, my review is for people who actually look at things on an even keel and aren't fans of anything, and they're trying to figure out whether they should buy it or not. My review has very little value for the Xbox fan who was going to buy this no matter what, who freaked out when they saw the debut trailer.
And I would argue everyone has an opinion on Halo. Like, there are very few people who are untouched by Halo.
How could you not know what... I mean, what's a bias? Just knowing about something as a bias? I mean, it's ridiculous. People throw around bias all the time when they don't agree with something on the internet.
You've had a previous experience with Halo, and I guess that's like how is being a giant fan of Halo
not biased? But you're not biased.
I'm not biased because I can see the utter genius of this. It's like, what? I don't. That's a weird way to phrase subjectivity.
Yeah.
Like everybody's got their viewpoint of it. That's what a review is.
Yeah.
View. It's literally in the word.
Yeah, it is. Erebus Jones says, "Dear God, don't buy it. Play it on Game Pass. Is a piece of history it is." And that is what I probably should have got to at the end. Is this game is $50 and there's no multiplayer.
They did do a lot of work on it, so I kind of I understand where that price point is. I certainly wouldn't say. Paying extra for early access on this thing is nuts.
Well, if you're a Game Pass subscriber,
I refuse to do that.
It was only $20 if you're already a Game Pass subscriber. Which still, you're paying $20 to play a game that you're going to play for free 5 days later.
Yeah, and I still don't really know if I'm going to finish. It's probably more of the thing where I'm going to get to the flood and be like, "Yep, I remember this," and I'm out. I don't know if I need to go through the whole thing, but.
Barry Gooster says, "It's like how the word objective has lost all meaning on the internet." It really has.
Barry Gooster. Literally, which now literally means figuratively.
That's another one. Yep. Let's scroll up here. Again, guys, always go at SIFTD Games if you want us to respond to something. Contano says, "I used to be the biggest shooter fanboy, but in the last 5 years, I've massively fallen off because shooters don't meaningfully innovate anymore. It's all recycled gimmicks now." Contano, one of the first things I said to Matt when I got in here was that I used to feel like you. I play a ton of shooters. You guys all know that. I play COD all the time. And I also felt that way. I thought that shooters have just been stagnant and that they haven't changed anything in all this time. And I'll just say, playing Halo Campaign Evolved made me realize that they have evolved a metric ton.
From then, yeah, but I think he's more talking about the last 10 years.
He said the last 4 or 5 years. And Contano, I actually agree with you over the last 4 or 5 years. I do not play Call of Duty anywhere near as much as I used to. Maybe a third as much as I used to.
I think the only innovative thing I've really seen in the shooter space, and it's not like I play them multiplayer tons. I'd say the last really innovative thing I saw in a shooter was in Titanfall 2.
Yeah.
But beyond that, in terms of the multiplayer space, I think the games where people disguise themselves as background objects and the other players have to find them are very clever.
Yeah, it's called Mecha Chameleon, right? That viral game right now. They just found malware in the mods for that game.
That tracks.
You can't have anything nice. Somebody's always got to ruin it.
But that's a cool idea.
That is a cool idea. Yeah, I agree.
The hiding and finding, not the malware.
Yeah. I figured that out. Let's see. Fight TJK, thank you for Twitch Prime. That's freaking awesome. JM Rain 99, thank you for that as well. 77 months, JM Rain.
Swan Senpai was one of the weird Xbox fanboys that hated Halo.
Oh, really?
You ran into those once in a while, and you're like, what do you like?
Yeah.
Are you just a big Jet Set Radio Future fan?
Yeah.
What is that?
Look, I don't know if the gentleman over on YouTube just doesn't know me or not. He may have just found GameFace in the last year. Doesn't know my history, hasn't followed me, but man, I just got to tell you, I don't know if there's anybody that tries as hard to be as objective as I do. And I know it's impossible to be perfect in that way, but I'm just telling you, it's pretty much my entire goal at my job. So
yeah, you're not being objective, you're just being aware of your subjectivity, which is all you can do when you're giving an opinion about something.
Yeah.
And to state up front what your experience with the thing is, which is, with this game, 25 years of experience with it.
Well, the funny thing is, I was trying to give them full disclosure.
But you did.
I did.
That's what you did.
And he's trying to burn me for giving full disclosure, which is editorial integrity,
that's
providing
not,
the
that's
context.
Not a call out. If someone tells you this is where I'm coming from.
That's me being responsible in my job.
If he just launched into his a review of the opinion of the game, it's this current version of the game, and you're like, I think you're biased. You didn't think Halo was special because you played Tribes. I bet you played Tribes. He just turns into Psycho Mantis reading your memory card.
Right.
It's you like Castlevania, don't you? That would be calling out bias. But this is not that. This is just repeating what Shane already told you.
Yeah. Million Miles Away, thank you for Twitch Prime. And by the way, SNK Game, I'm not mad at you at all, man. It's totally cool. I'm just laying out for you who I am and how I operate. That's it. Rock and Roll 458, thank you for Twitch Prime. Thoughtless Kyle says, I get less concerned when Pactor says things that people don't like versus the times when he's just straight wrong. Here's the thing. He's not really wrong at all anymore. I don't know if you've noticed, but everything he has said about Xbox is coming true. Also, everything he said about Netflix starting its own Game Pass, actually, Amazon just beat Netflix to the punch. And now Luna is a part of Amazon Prime. Everything.
If Amazon ever makes any games, that'll be a big deal.
It's so funny how this reputation
will
follows
Tomb Raider
him.
Be on that?
It's just crazy. This reputation follows him because he said 14 years ago that there was going to be a Wii HD. That's what this all comes from.
Also, like, he's an industry analyst for, like, investment stuff. If anyone who does that not just games,
he wouldn't be employed.
Any industry, but again, any industry for that kind of thing. Yeah. If you got like a 50% like hit rate, that's really good.
Oh, you're like the best in your industry.
Like no one who does that job is right every time.
It's crazy. That is what everybody holds. Oh, the Wii HD. Well, the funny part is there was a Wii HD. It was the Wii U. He was fucking right. But they hold that over his head.
They just turned it into the next system because
they didn't know what else to do with it. It's just crazy how they badger it. Every episode, but you wanted to get me right, just go against whatever Panther says. Like, it's the same comment all the time from these people who have no clue what the hell they're talking about. Like, he would not have been an employee at Wedbush for 25 years if he got stuff wrong as often as people say he gets stuff wrong. He would have not have been employed at one of the best analyst houses in Los Angeles. Like, it's just insane. And now he's getting all this stuff right. Nobody cares. Nobody comes back and says, oh, wow, you're actually getting everything right now. Maybe I should stop saying you get everything wrong. It is crazy. I feel terrible for Pachter. He's cool with it. He's just like, whatever. He's old. He don't give a fuck. He's just like, who are these 12-year-olds making fun of me? I don't care. But it's ridiculous. It hounds him everywhere he goes. And he's more right than anybody. Like,
it has always been the prerogative of children and halfwits to point out that the emperor has no clothes. But the halfwit remains a halfwit, and the emperor remains the emperor.
Go back and watch his episodes for the last 4 years. He just drops bomb after bomb, and they all come true.
Well, especially because the trajectory of the industry has been so clear to someone who has connections like he does.
That's what people don't get. They get caught, again, in their fanboy bullshit. He doesn't care about your fanboyism. He doesn't care about PlayStation, Xbox. He gets information from the people doing the stuff. And then he's awesome enough to share it with you, and then you tell him he's full of shit. It's bonkers. Anyway, it sucks that I have to stand up for Pachter because he never will. Because he's just like, F them. I don't care. They're just stupid. But it's like, come on, man. Look at the record. Like, he is a great financial analyst and has been for almost 3 decades. Anyway, I am on fire today, Blitches. Shane's on fire today. I am. I don't know why.
PlayStation 6 is still not going to be in a TV, though. I will stand by that one.
I don't know.
You won't be able to fit something like that in a TV.
I mean, it depends on what the PlayStation 6 is.
It would melt.
We'll see. A lot of that stuff that he said when I sat there, I was like, oh, that's crazy. That's not going to happen.
We won't see it in a TV.
like all the Netflix stuff, I'm like, they're never going to do that. No company like that. And then 2 weeks later, Amazon is like, yep, we're doing it. And I'm just like, well, all right,
Amazon has always been kind of stupid. And I mean, again, where things go to die. Do you think they'll put Tomb Raider on that?
No. No, they don't. That's not what Luna is.
Fucking cares?
It's not a day one thing. It's just a catalog, blah, blah, blah. That's not what... Luna doesn't try to compete with Game Pass, really.
The first thing they should probably do is do something to let people know what the fuck Luna is. Because I don't even know what really that is. I see it pop up in certain things once in a while.
Yeah.
Netflix, I don't know what that would be. Netflix already has that like Netflix arcade thing, and I don't even know how to access that.
Yeah. Yep. Emperor Dread says it reminds me of they hated Jesus because he told them the truth. And then he put the scripture there.
Yes.
I mean, it is true. Like in the video games, if you're like a commenter or you do
video game
stuff,
commenters are Pharisees. That is true.
It's so easy to just go online and figure out what you guys all believe. It's so easy to just go online, look at social media, see what everybody's saying, see which way the wind is blowing, and just say your opinion is that. It's so easy to do that. I will never do that. Ever. And I know my business would be more successful if I did that. I don't care. I have integrity. Anyway, I am on a runner today. I'm fired up.
Integrity or money? Choose one.
I mean, it is kind of the truth, man.
Yep.
And it's like, you know what? My business is coming up on like its 11th or 12th year. I'm not getting rich, but I'm making a living doing what I love to do, and I have not sacrificed my integrity one iota for it. So I'm okay. When I lay down at night, I go to sleep in 10 seconds.
That's actually because he drinks so much
It's because of all the LS cream that I'm sucking down every night. Yep. Let's see. Scroll down. We got to move on here. We spent a lot of time on Halo. A Fire Native. It's like the OG GoldenEye. It's awesome when we played it 30 years ago, but by today's standards, it ran at 7 frames per second, and it sucks. And you have to aim up and down with the C buttons.
Yeah.
And I was a god at that game.
No odd job.
No odd job. That was the rule. You're right, though. And it was still great for its time. And I'll tell you that GoldenEye was a great game. Yeah. I'll say Halo Combat Evolved was a great game. It's 25 years later.
And this medium is very temporal. And you know who is the biggest advocate of that idea? Hideo fucking Kojima. It's one of the reasons he doesn't think games are really art, is because someone who engages with a video game 25 years later is going to have a very different experience than the person who engaged with it at the time, which is not true of, say, the Mona Lisa, or the Odyssey, or great works of other art. Like that things don't really age like that.
Here's another one. Majora Tom Lee. He gets a lot of his predictions about Rockstar Games wrong. He does not.
Which ones?
Well, because he came out and shared the information that he got from, and I still can't tell you what the source is, but I'm telling you it's about as reliable as you can get from fucking Rockstar, that there was multiple territories in Grand Theft Auto 6. And they changed the game. Been working on the game for 13 years. Again, he was right.
Like, it would certainly explain why they took 13 years.
Again, I don't know how Pachter does it, man. I don't know why he still does the show. Like, if it were me, I'd be like, F you all. Like, he won't defend himself, so I'm here doing it. And he may get mad at me for defending him. That's the point. He'll never even know, actually. Unless one of you guys go tell him.
I bet that they're going to slowly add the other territories to GTA 6 as the years go on.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to...
It's going to be DLC.
I think they're going to expand it out. And
it may be in GTA Online.
That's how they're going to justify not having GTA 7 for 20 years.
Yep.
It's just GTA 6 is going to go forever.
I'm telling you, he was right about Grand Theft Auto, people. You may not want to believe it. He was right. I know who his source was. He was right. Anyway, I tried to tell you that. I don't know how many times. I can't tell you what the source is. All I can say is it's about as good as it gets. So you can figure that out. It's not hard.
And beyond that, what else did he predict about Rockstar?
That's pretty much it. That was his big...
He doesn't talk about Rockstar much, really.
Other than to, like... Yeah. I mean, he talks
in terms of, like, being the 800-pound gorilla in the release schedule.
And in context with Take-Two every once in a while. Yeah. Erebus Jones says, was there a Wii HD? It was called the Wii U, surely. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he was right. They just didn't release it as the Wii HD. They released it as a new system called the Wii U.
Which is one of the reasons it was so confusing when they revealed it.
It even looks exactly like the Wii. So, you may figure maybe Pachter got a look at it and he thought it was the Wii HD because it looks just like the Wii.
After they revealed it, I remember I had to argue. I had an argument with Adam over the headset in the booth because he thought it was an add-on for the Wii, and I'm like, no, that's a new system. He's like, it's just the pad. I'm like, there's a little rectangle in the background of one shot that looks, I think, is a new system. Yeah. And we had to clarify that before we started talking about it with Nintendo because it wasn't obvious. Yeah. And that's because clearly it was probably supposed to be some kind of Wii expansion rather than a whole new system, which I don't know if that was the right or the wrong call by then, but it didn't work out too well.
Hilda Starscream says, Pachter has said Game Pass will hit 200 million subscribers in 8 years. That's ridiculous. He was wrong on that. But so there's a difference between him saying, I have information on something, and this is what's going to happen. Like the Rockstar stuff, Grand Theft Auto 6 stuff. Then there's him looking at the market and trying to guess what's going to happen. And that's what he did with Game Pass. You're basically saying, you're not psychic. You suck. That's what they're saying. Mm-hmm. You can't see the future. You suck. And to be fair, part of the job as an analyst is to try to guess what's going to happen in the future. But to your point, you get half of them right. You're a rock star because you're trying to guess the future. Mm-hmm. Imagine your job is to guess the future. And if you don't, people on some chat 10 years later are going to slag you for it. Like, that's crazy.
Like 50% is roughly random chance of guessing, like, coin flip stuff. Now add a whole industry with the variables of all the different market forces and consumer forces and pricing and inflation. I mean, it's a hard thing to predict. And at the time he made that prediction, the line going up on Game Pass indicated that was where it was headed. Yeah. Like, no one really predicted, at least of all Microsoft, that thing was going to plateau as hard as it did. Yeah. Like, I mean, that was a hard cutoff. Yeah, yeah. Like, they were like, oh, we got this many subscribers. We got this many subscribers. We got this many subscribers. We're not going to say anything for about a year and a half. Yeah. It's just like, what happened? Is it? And then, this all, the numbers come out, but it's like, oh, it just stopped. Yeah. And, like, who would have known that? Who would have known where the ceiling was? Basically, Pachter's predicting that was the ceiling, and the ceiling was lower.
People Simple just don't think about what his job is. His job is being a psychic. Yeah. Like, that's an impossible job. Like, you're not going to get everything right. You can only use the information that you have and your own knowledge and your own thinking skills to try to come to conclusions. That's what he does when he's projecting stuff.
You don't stay employed at Wedbush that long by being bad at that.
No, you don't.
It's just I don't know, everyone expects perfection or thinks that analysts are supposed to be right all the
They
time.
just don't understand the job. And they're like, oh, he got it wrong, so he gets everything wrong.
It's almost like people leaving comments on video game websites are not like the top investors in the world.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the friction, I think, in the games industry online, and I'm not talking about this case in particular, but I'm saying in general, is that you have adults like us interacting with children. I mean, people who are 8 to 14 years old, which to me is still is a kid, basically.
Well, yeah.
And so they're immature, and they don't understand how things work. And so you're an adult who does...
To me, 30 is a kid at this point.
Yeah, you're right. But
if I'm old enough to be your parent...
Yeah. But that's part of the problem is, like, they're young, they're naive, they don't know how the world works, they don't understand cause and effect, like... They're just like, I like this. I want everybody else to like it. And then when you're an adult and you're looking at things and you're taking in all the information and you're using the things that you've gleaned from your 30 years in the industry to come to conclusions, like, they don't look at it that. All they care about is if you're right or you're wrong. And that's...
I think it was very important to be a Sega fan back in the day, because I think it was very helpful to take an L that big.
Yeah.
Right at the turn of the century.
Yeah.
After a number of other L's.
Yeah.
And really be like, oh, like your preference doesn't matter. The industry's going to happen when it's going to happen.
Yep.
The way it happens.
Yeah.
And here we are. And life goes on, and we're gonna find other things to do.
And we're still playing great Sega games.
Still playing great
at
Sega
the end of
games.
Which is all that really matters.
Yeah.
I mean, I felt like you. I felt really sad when Sega left the market. But in hindsight, like, I'm just glad they're still here.
But they came right back.
Right. I'm glad they're still here making great games. That's at the end of it. I just want to play great Sega games. So.
And that was kind of like my attitude with the Xbox, where it's like, if they just become a publishing arm, great. We still get to play those things.
Exactly.
I don't really care what I'm playing them on.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I care in the sense that the PC is the best experience if you have the money to afford it. Increasingly more money these days.
Yeah.
But in general, as long as the game runs well, who cares what it's on?
Yeah. Yep. That's how I felt that way all along, honestly. Okay, it's time to move on to our next topic in GameFace episode 490.
You're right, actually. I always thought, even when I was a big Saturn fanboy, I was like, you know what? I wish if this stuff was all on the PlayStation, I wouldn't have to buy 2 consoles.
Yeah.
Like that.
Save yourself $500. It means I can buy another 8 games.
Yeah, right?
Yep. All right, next up, we're going to talk about something that could not have happened at a worse time for Xbox or PlayStation. So this week, PlayStation Network went down for pretty much an entire day. And everybody was like, well, that's crazy because PlayStation's trying to kill physical games right now. And if your network goes down, I can't access my games at all. And so, literally, like, it's just poetic how this happened. 2 weeks after PlayStation kills physical games, PlayStation Network goes down and nobody can play any digital PlayStation games.
Why can't they play their digital games?
Because you have to be connected to do the handshake or whatever.
No, you don't.
I thought you did.
As long as your PlayStation 5 is set as your home PlayStation, anything that's installed you can play.
Even offline?
Oh, yeah. That happened to me when my
like
internet,
your digital games that you bought digital.
100%.
Interesting.
No doubt, zero question.
Why were people freaking out about this?
Because people are fucking morons.
That's crazy.
Or lying, one or the other. I
mean, it was a huge uproar
because
this week.
that happened. I mean, maybe there was some like digital signage stuff that didn't work.
There must be some little quirk to it.
I lost my internet for like a week at one point because they did some kind of maintenance, and Spectrum's just like, sorry, you're not gonna have internet for like 3 days, and so I couldn't. I couldn't play my my Xbox games that I apparently had not set my Series X as my home Xbox.
Oh.
So I had to like.
I haven't done that for my consoles.
I had to use my phone as a Wi-Fi hotspot to like get online with it that way, and then set it to home, and then everything worked offline. But the PlayStation 5 was already set to my home PlayStation because I got rid of my PlayStation 4.
Is that by default, or did you set
You have to set it when you in your setup.
I haven't done that for any of my
Usually in
consoles.
setup, it says, do you want to make this your home PlayStation, I think, and it did that. I don't remember how that actually worked. I should remember because I just did it with the 5 Pro again. Because I don't remember it was part of the automated setup or if I went into settings and did it intentionally because I remembered that happening and didn't want it to happen again.
Yeah.
But if it's set to home, anything you already have installed, you can play. I mean, obviously you can't play online multiplayer or anything. But unless there's some weird like signage flag thing that happened with this PSN thing going down. Like anything you have installed, if you're on your home system, you can still play it.
Yeah, I've never set my consoles to my home console, so maybe I should do that. But
you should look into the settings on that. I don't remember where that is.
But people were freaking out about this. Like the whole internet was going off. People were like, see, this is why you shouldn't, take away physical games. I can't play my game now because your network is
if
down.
it was not allowing you to play the game because it didn't think you owned it, it still wouldn't let you play it if there was a disc in this thing because it wouldn't be able to check online if it was an actual key either. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it does seem as if you don't have it downloaded, the game downloaded, then you definitely can't play it if the network's down, if it's not already on your hard drive. So that's definitely one drawback to it for sure. And then the crazy part is, yesterday, the same thing happened to Xbox. Their network was down, I think, from like 8 a.m. Pacific until like 4 p.m.
Was this
Pacific?
like the same? Are they using the same? Is this like AWS or something?
I don't think, no. We're on AWS on SIFTD, and we had no problems.
But is it that kind of thing where they're both using the same backbone for something? No.
So here's the thing. PlayStation never issued a statement about it. Never apologized. Never even said that it happened.
Well, they don't talk to us anymore.
Right. Well, right now they're on blackout or whatever. Xbox, for its part, this morning, their CTO, their Chief Technical Officer, issued a statement. And he's like, we had a point of failure in our network that was by itself. And there was no backup to fix it. And when it went down, it took everything down. And he's like, and that is a huge F up. And that is my fault, and I'm taking responsibility for it, and I am really freaking sorry. And nothing from PlayStation about it at all.
Well, PlayStation's kind of been, nothing bad can happen, it can only good happen mode.
Yeah.
So we're just not going to hear from them for a while,
I guess. I don't know.
Like all PlayStation 5s could catch fire, and PlayStation just like, check out this new colored controller.
Yeah. So that was like, just the timing of it, both of them going down after the NoDiscNoBuy hashtag and everything and all this, they're setting up this big thing for people to shut down their PlayStations for a week.
But that's not some kind of like torpedo to that thing. Because like, again, guess what? If PSN is down and you buy a physical game and you go to put it in, it's still not going to be able to check that it's a legit game. You won't be able to get the update you need. You won't be able to get the install you need. It's like, it's still not a solution. I mean, these things are online all the time, and they need to be online all the time, and that means your internet connection needs to work, and they need to not fuck their networks up.
Yeah,
like that is true of everything. I mean, Steam can go down too. Like that's just how that's the nature of the beast.
Now you may not remember.
That is ridiculous that two separate things caused those both to go down in the space
within
of a week.
2 days. It's crazy. I mean, the timing. I mean, it feels like, again, poetic. Like. You're going to do this, now you're going to pay. Like, it just feels like it kind of worked out that way.
It's more like, if you're going to do this, you better make sure that shit's solid.
Right. Yeah, pretty much. So anyway, those both went down. The timing is uncanny, crazy, whatever. So I don't know if you remember when we were talking about Xbox Reset, one thing I was talking about was how Microsoft had this huge push for backwards compatibility, with Xbox Series X, with the Xbox One, blah, blah, blah. Stick your disc in, you can play it, whatever. And I was like, well, if they kill discs like Sony, that feels like they're going back on one of their big pushes or whatever. And as luck would have it, 2 days later, we get information that Microsoft is actually working on something to solve that problem.
I did not think they were going to abandon that.
And they're not. However, there's a little bit of a caveat to it. So basically, Microsoft has launched...
You have to play Fusion Frenzy. I'm sorry.
3 times. I don't think we've ever mentioned that game before today, but...
Fusion Frenzy lives rent-free in my head to some degree, because that thing sold like crazy. You remember that?
Yeah.
That was one of their top sellers on the system.
One of their biggest launch games, yeah.
Bonkers.
Yep.
Why is there no Smash TV update?
I don't know.
Why is there no new Smash TV
I don't know. I love Smash TV. Why'd you bring it up, though?
Just because Fusion Frenzy reminded me, because it's a game show. It's like an American Gladiator style game
setup.
show and same sort of premise. I'm just amazed that kind of thing isn't around somehow. Like, you know what? Hey, Housemark, just make Smash TV 2026
with
or
voxels.
some shit.
Yeah, I play it.
Yeah,
play the living hell out of it. So Xbox, in its preview program right now, which I'm a part of, and I haven't had a chance to check it out because I've just been playing too many damn games this week. But as part of their preview program, you can now basically put a disc in your PC, and it will give you a digital version on PC of that game. Now,
pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. And people initially they announced it as only for the original Xbox, and I think they had like 8 games that would work at first.
I saw 4, but I think you're right. It was 8. I only remember the 4.
Well, then
one of them was Blinks the Time Sweeper.
It was. Yeah.
It's Blinks.
Well, so people started data mining
and Crimson Skies, which is great.
It was, yeah. people started data mining the code that they put out for this, and they found an Xbox 360 emulator inside the emulator. So there is an emulator for the Xbox 360 inside the Xbox emulator. And so now people are like, that's going to happen for Xbox 360 too. You're going to be able to create digital versions of your Xbox and your Xbox 360 games. Now, there is a little bit of a caveat to it. You create a Microsoft Store digital version of the game. But here's the thing. It is transferable. You will be able to sell it to other people, but it's always going to live in the Microsoft Store. So if you want to sell it to somebody, they have to care about the Microsoft Store. And if they don't use the Microsoft Store or don't want to start using it, then you can't sell it to them. So that's kind of the caveat. But I don't see how Microsoft could set up some program with Steam where, hey, this guy bought an Xbox game back in 2001. Can we give him a free version of it on Steam? Like, I don't see that ever happening.
No.
This feels like the only way that this really could happen. And so to earlier, where people were saying like, hey, like the digital stuff, like, we need to fight for digital rights. I think that's the right track. Because this is what can happen if you fight for digital rights. Fighting for physical games feels like an uphill battle at this point. Fighting for digital rights feels like something that could possibly happen.
I'll go stand outside the headquarters of Bellevue right now if it means that there's a better chance that they'll do this with Jet Set Radio Future. What the hell is taking why don't they do? I mean, there must be something wrong with the music licensing or something.
That's probably it. Yep, the guy who made the music doesn't want to license it, or he died in his estate.
Those guys, that was him. That was Wavemaster.
He's still around?
Yeah, he's still making games.
Well, why the hell wouldn't he sign it off?
I mean, he may not own he may not own the rights to the recordings of some of those other, maybe Cibo Mano's playing hard to get or something. I don't know. I hate that song though, so you want to cut that. You want to cut Birthday Cake out, where I'm fine with it. I don't know.
How do you feel about this? Like, will you ever use it?
Yeah, I'll play Crimson Skies on PC for sure. Yeah. I don't know if I need to play Blank.
And it does enhance the games a little bit too.
Yeah, they look good.
So they should run better.
I don't care about
and
Fusion
look better.
Frenzy. I don't particularly care about Conquer anymore. Blinks is more of a Tech TV in joke.
Yeah. Blinks.
That was with one of our editors, Matthew Korb. For some reason, we just started saying Blinks all the time. And then when Extended Play became X Play, he drew a picture of Blinks standing in front of a tombstone that said Extended Play on it, and with a word balloon that said, "Even my time sweeping can't bring it back."
Yeah.
And put it on his edit bay. That was Blinks was well loved at Tech TV.
Yeah. So right now, like Xbox Series X, you can put in your Xbox 360 disc, and for the most part, you can play it. Like every once in a while, I'll put one in and it won't work, or like there'll be some weird hiccup with the handshake.
All right, Araba says, so if you own the disc, you can put it in an Xbox and play it.
That's what I said.
But you sound like you said PC.
Yeah.
In a PC. You cannot put it in a PC.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that is incorrect. You put it in the Xbox, that creates the digital version for PC. Yeah.
And they've been added. Those digital versions have been added to play anywhere, so you could play it on PC.
Yeah. So. Yep. And again, like they are enhanced. It's like they're running through an emulator, so they will run better. They will look a little bit better. That to me is like the best sort of compromise.
Yeah, there's a bunch of games I would like to see get that treatment that they'll never give that treatment, like Wrath Unleashed and the Mech Assaults, which are probably a licensing nightmare now because of FASA or whoever owns BattleTech now.
Yep.
Wrath Unleashed would have been cool if it didn't take 4 minutes to load every battle, and I feel like now that wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
Wrath Unleashed with instant loading, I would play in a microsecond, but good luck getting Lucasfilm to admit that thing ever happened.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like,
I do wonder too if this is something that only Microsoft and Xbox can do. Like, I don't know if this is an option for Nintendo and PlayStation to do something like
I don't
this.
think Nintendo and PlayStation would want to.
Right. Because they hate PC already. I mean, PlayStation just pulled back from PC.
But it's a good I mean, if it means we get some kind of form of PC versions of even if it's through the emulator situation, like there's a lot of good stuff in there that never came to PC. Never came to PC with a decent version either. I mean, some of that's the same. I mean, the mercenaries and brute force.
Yeah. They weren't all great, but
wasn't all gold, boys.
But I do feel like this is like a compromise in the middle between physical games and not having anything at all. Like, this is a good way for Xbox to do it, but it's not a solution for the other guys.
No.
Nintendo, I think, is just going to stick with physical media. Right. That's another one.
The From heads would love to see Otogi.
That's right. Yeah. So it sounds like it'll work for Xbox. Probably won't work for the other guys, and that's not Microsoft's problem.
It probably would work for them. They're just not going.
They're not going to do it. Yeah. Well, I mean,
emulating the PlayStation stuff from that era would be a pain.
They would have PlayStation and Nintendo would have to launch some new version of their stores that connect to
they need
PC,
a PC
somehow.
version of the store. It's no way.
Never going to happen. Not going to happen.
This is not in their interest.
Yeah. So it's pretty clever on Microsoft's part. As we learn more about this, we'll come back and we'll talk about it on GameFace again. But as of right now, that's all the information we have on it. But I think it's a clever way to do it, and at least it's an option versus physical games just completely going away.
I'd love to see them go and start negotiating for some of the licenses and some of the things that are just long out. Stuff that was good at the time, but hard. Sort of like the remaster of the Godzilla game is coming.
Yeah.
I would love to see someone resurrect those old Lord of the Rings games.
Yeah.
Although I will admit, I went and I played because I have my original Xbox hooked up to HDMI now, and I did go back and play the Return of the King game. I used to love those Stormfront games. Was that Stormfront Studios?
Yeah.
Was that them? Mm-hmm. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing anymore.
Yeah.
I'm I used to be able to S rank everything. I'm just I got killed in 5 seconds. I was like, what's going on?
That's funny.
I don't remember how this works at all. What a different era.
Yep. So anyway, there you go. That's the latest on backwards compatibility on Xbox and the NoDiscNoBuy saga, which is obviously affecting both Xbox and PlayStation right now. Next up, we're going to review Splatoon Raiders. I hinted a little bit earlier that there is a game that I've been playing this week that I was hopelessly addicted to, and I plowed through it from beginning to end in just a couple days. And this is that game. It is Splatoon Raiders. So Splatoon Raiders is a single-player / cooperative loot shooter, is the best way to put it. The controls and everything that you're used to from Splatoon, as far as diving below the ink to refill your ink tank and then popping back up and shooting with the right... all that stuff is the same. So if you have played Splatoon in the past, you can jump into this game and be pretty damn good at it pretty much right away. Now, the difference with this is that it's not a multiplayer-focused game. It is a campaign-focused game. And one thing I will say is that now that I've played it, having played the quote-unquote single-player content in prior Splatoon games, the design of this isn't all that different. There was I think it was even DLC maybe, a DLC mode called Salmon Run, which was just a horde mode that you played cooperatively with other people. And the design of that is kind of similar to this, in that this isn't a game that you go out into the world and you stay out in the world. So the plot of this is that there's this pop group that caught wind of this secret island far away from Splatville, which is where Splatoon usually takes place. They go to fly there to plunder the island for treasure, and a storm happens, and they crash land. And they end up being rescued by this person called the Mechanic, who lives on this, oil rig out in the middle of the water. And the goal is for them to get home. They want to get back to Splatville. And hopefully they can take some treasure back with them as well if it all works out. And so you play as the Mechanic, working with these people in this pop group, trying to help them get home, but also they help you build your oil rig up. So they go out and they collect stuff in the levels as they play through them, or you do, and you bring them back and you use that to upgrade the base that you come back to. So the design of the game is you're on the oil tanker in the middle of the water. That's your base. At the base, you can upgrade your weapons. You can craft weapons. You can craft upgrades for your weapons, like these little buff trinkets that you attach. And then there's a little robot buddy that sits on the deck. You walk up to him, and he will take you to the map screen where there's this big, sprawling map that looks like any other open-world game would look like. It looks just like Assassin's Creed map, honestly, minus all the icons. And you just choose your way through that map. And generally, the game is linear. You'll play through, a couple missions, and then it'll kind of splinter off and give you, an option. And there are... the mission types in this, the one thing I would say is I do wish that there was a greater variety of mission types, because really the vast majority of it is just kill everything. You're by this point, kill everything by this point. And a big objective is you'll come across these little almost mines, almost like oil rig mines. You'll have to kill all the enemies around that, and then you can use your little robot buddy to jump on it and drill it and get you resources that you will then take back to the oil rig to upgrade all your stuff. And that's the basic loop. Now, one thing
you're the Mechanic.
Yeah.
But you're the pilot. You were their pilot.
Were you?
Yeah.
I didn't realize
That's
that.
what happened there.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I thought the mechanic was already there on the oil rig.
No, you built the oil rig out of the wreckage.
Really?
Yeah,
I did not pick up on that at all.
That's what just happened.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I did not pick
up on that.
on
It was a month
that.
later, and because now you're the mechanic because you can't be a pilot anymore because there's no helicopter.
Because there's nothing to fly.
That's why the pilot's completely covered.
I did not notice that at all.
You haven't made your character yet.
Interesting. I did not pick up on that. So anyway, you do have some leeway in how you go through the game. In fact, there's sometimes like some of the missions are just kill everything or go through this area and go from one point to the next, drilling these spots and getting the resources. But then other times there are these special raids that you go on where there are levels to it, where you have to basically fight through 2 or 3 waves of enemies and clear all the enemies in those rooms. Those typically are way harder. And you can pass those if you want to and come back later. All the missions are rated on your level. So they don't scale. So if you pass them up and keep playing through the game and come back later, they're easier. They don't scale them up to match your level. So you don't have to play through everything in order that it appears. You can play through it and hopscotch around the map if you want to, which is cool. So you have some like leeway in how that works. Now the cooperative play in this is a little weird because it's a Nintendo game and Nintendo handles online like they're freaking maniacs. So you can't match up with random people in this. You can't just be like, hey, I just want to play with 3 other people and let's just play Splatoon Raiders with 4 people. Basically how it works is you have to have people on your friends list to invite to the game, or when you go to the map screen, you can hit the minus button on the Joy-Con and you join this pool of people that are willing to help other players. So let's say you've tried that level I mentioned earlier and you keep getting to the 3rd level of that raid and you keep dying in the 3rd level of it and you get sick of it, you want help. When you go to the map screen and you select that mission, you can also tap the minus button and it will start matchmaking. And you do this all on the oil rig. You're not doing this out in the levels. So it will matchmake, and once it'll show you like the people that you match up with. And here's one thing about it that I also hate about the real Splatoon game is like you can't get out. So once you've committed, there's no way to get out unless you shut down your Switch 2. So once you have put out that call and the people are there and they're in the queue, you can either choose to accept and play through the mission with them, or you can turn off your Switch 2. Those are your 2 options.
You can't even quit out of the game?
No. So
like at the Switch menu?
No, you can go back. Yeah, you can. So if you hit home, you can go back to home if you want to. So the thing with that is it the way the game scales the missions, it's based upon the levels of the players you're playing with. So when I first started playing, and I was like level 5, I put out a call for help. The people who responded to the call for help were all like level 25, level 30, whatever. I couldn't back out, and I didn't even know. It's like my first time I didn't know to back out or didn't know it was going to be an issue, so I just said yes, and let's play. We start playing. The enemies are scaled for them. And so I'm getting one hit killed, and they're like playing like normal. And so I had to go and hide in the corner of the map and kill like the little rank and file dudes, and just so I felt like useful or whatever, while they took care of like all the waves of enemies, and we went all the way down through to the 3rd level, and they killed the final boss in the 3rd level. So basically what you learn is if you match up with people who are much higher level than you, you're not going to have a good time. And there's no way to back out of it other than to go out and back to the main screen of the Switch 2 and close the game out, or just shut the Switch 2 down. But I'll say this, when you do match up with people that are around the same level as you, it is a total blast. Like playing with other people. Because the other thing I would say too is that like for me personally, once I started my build, I kind of stuck with my tenets. So one of the things you choose in this game is your tank. And that's your tank that holds your ink for your gun. And each tank is different. They're kind of like classes. There's only 3 of them to start. Like one is like high speed. One of them is like high paint volume. It's stuff like that. And there's only 3 of them. So what happens is when you play with other people cooperatively, you see their tanks. And you see like what their tanks can do. So you also, in addition to choosing your tank, you also choose your buddy. So I chose Big Man, the little robot guy. But like one of the girls in the band has like a huge shark that you can use. And so that affects like what you can do and what abilities you have and what supers you have. Like your special attacks and your super attacks is all governed by those 2 choices that you make. So when you play with other people, you get to see their choices and see what they can do. And it just motivates you to start tinkering with your builds, and that is where this game starts getting really, really addictive, because you'll play with somebody and say you've tried that mission and by yourself and you died within like a minute or whatever. You watch them walk up to that group of enemies that wiped your ass out and just annihilate them in like 3 seconds. And you're like, what the F? How did you do that? And you start looking at their build and you're like, oh, this thing that I thought looked really stupid actually is this crazy multiplier for this other ability that is attached to this buddy or attached to this tank or whatever. And you just start fiddling around and you start realizing that you can build stuff in this game that just rocks the house. And that becomes crazy motivating. Because the game also, it starts off real easy. Within like 5 hours, it gets hard. Like, you really have to start focusing on like your builds and stuff like that. And again, if you're playing with people who are higher level than you definitely need to focus on it, because otherwise it's just pointless playing with them. And so this game really is like Splatoon Destiny. Like, there are certain weapons that are effective. Like, people go online and there's these Reddit threads where people are going over their builds and what kind of DPS they're getting out of their builds. Like, it really is like a really great loot shooter set in the Splatoon universe, which is something, full disclosure, I already like. I am a fan of the Splatoon franchise. I have played all of them. I have played the multiplayer a lot. I love the feel of the combat in the franchise. And so bringing that into a cooperative environment to me is freaking great. So I had a blast with this. It lasted me, I didn't actually look at a clock or anything. My guess is it's probably around 16, 18 hours to get through the whole campaign cooperatively. And there's a caveat with calling in help, so you can't keep doing it. If you call in help and you pass the level, there's a timer that pops up and you can't call for help. I think it's like 30 minutes or something like that. You have to wait 30 minutes before you can call for help again. If you call for help and you fail the mission, you can keep calling for help, which makes sense. So they're trying to keep you from basically, Jimmy in the game and beating the game in like an hour using a bunch of characters that are like level 100 fighting through level 15 levels or whatever. So they did a pretty good job of balancing it. I do wish Nintendo would just figure out that like it's okay to match up with random people online. Like it's all right. Like no one's going to get murdered, no one's going to get raped. Like I don't understand why. I get like Nintendo's like, where kids are a big audience of ours. Like you can find other ways to protect kids and not make the games kind of suck for adults, I guess is what I'm getting at. So that's honestly my only real criticism of this game. I love the crap out of this. And again, full disclosure, I do like Splatoon. So if you've played Splatoon in the past and you didn't like it, you're not going to like this. The design of the game doesn't change enough because the vast majority of your time playing this, it is combat. You go back to the ship and you're there for like 3 minutes. You cash in all your stuff, you level up what you can, you choose some new trinkets or level up your trinkets or whatever, and then you go back out for another mission. So you don't spend a lot of time back at the base. Most of your time is out in the field fighting, and that's what you spend most of your time doing. So if you're not into Splatoon's combat, you're not going to like this no matter what. If you are, I would say this is a must-buy. I had more fun with this than the last Splatoon by a pretty wide margin, and that is considering that I did play Salmon Run too. Which probably was my favorite part of the last Splatoon, to be perfectly honest. And I think it was a lot of people's, which is why they made this game. Now, the bigger question for me, Matt, is like, why is this Splatoon Raiders? Like, why isn't this just a part of Splatoon 4? Like, why don't I get this plus the multiplayer suite? That, to me, is what would make a game worth $70. To have an awesome mode like this and multiplayer. I mean, that's typically what we're spending $70 or $80 for on other platforms, but not on Switch 2. On Switch 2, it's one or the other. Either get Splatoon with a crappy single player and multiplayer for full price, or you can get just as co-op for a discounted price. So I wish they had just made Splatoon 4 and put this in there, but I'm glad I'm getting to play it now because it is a ton of fun and crazy, crazy addicting. Now, one thing I will say is when I first started playing this, I was disappointed in the graphics. I was like, wait a minute, like, this looks just like Splatoon on Switch 1. Like, this should look way better. And then I started diving further into the game, and you started seeing people with these crazy builds, Matt, and I'm just telling you, the screen just goes berserk. There is just orbs and body parts and stuff flying everywhere. And so ultimately, I ended up impressed with the tech in this game. At first, I thought it was awful. I'm like, what? This doesn't look that much better than Splatoon. Then I started playing it, and I realized why. There is a lot going on in this game. So technically, I know you're watching this, you're like, that doesn't look as good. It should look better on Switch too. Like when you get further into the game, and we always record B-roll from the first hour or two for GameFace. We don't want to spoil stuff for you guys. When you get further into the game, you start to see like why they set sort of the graphics at the level that they did, because eventually there is a lot going on screen at a time. So that's Splatoon Raiders. I've had a blast with it. It is a little bit cheaper. It is also a Switch 2 exclusive. This is not a Switch 1 game, so you can't play it on your old Switch, unfortunately. I do want to skim forward here to get to this, so I can show you this before we move on. Kind of show you how you level stuff up back at the base. So when you first come back, you clear it. They give you all your stuff. They show you what you earned. They give you your treasure, which is like a big loot box or whatever. And that is one of the modifiers for the trinkets or whatever. So these are the things that you assign to your character that give you buffs, basically. And you get titles as you go on. Then, let me skim forward here, if I can get it right. Here we go. Here's all the stuff that you earned during your mission. So this stuff that you equip, you find weapons out in the field. And I will say this, the gear churn in this is a little much. Like you'll get, like, so I have one gun that I like, that I use all the time. They're called like the Splat Dualies. I use it in every Splatoon. Like you get one of those, like you'll get one that's level 15. And then you get another one that's like level 21. But for some reason, if you're the weapons that you're not using, you get plenty of those. I don't know if there's some algorithm going on there. It's kind of weird. But you can level up your weapon. So it becomes this thing of like, okay, I have this level 15. I can spend my resources to get up to level 18. But by the time I do that, I'm probably going to find a level 20 or a level 22. It's kind of like this thing that you go through mentally. So that's important. Let me see if I can skip forward again to get to the other part. Oh yeah, there's this stuff where you get on boats and you fly, and you can go wherever you want once you get on that little surfboard and go all over the world. The game is kind of open world. They're like God of War levels, basically. They're like islands connected by patches of earth or whatever. And pretty much all the levels are laid out the same, but there's like 5 different biomes in the game. So you do play like this sandy, beachy area, you play it a long time. And then eventually, then you get to the next one, which is like, ice or whatever. They're all just biome themes or whatever. So you do spend a good bit of time in each one of them, which is maybe my other big complaint. Like, I wish maybe there were more biomes in the game. This is the super. Every character has a super that's based on the buddy that you use. So I chose that little robot thing. So that's my super for that. Let's keep scrolling through. I know eventually I have this stuff in here somewhere. Yeah, cutscene. So all the stuff back at base. There's always cutscenes back there where they talk about like making it home or making their next song. Because don't forget they're a pop group, which is a very weird setup for this game. Here we go. So there's the 3 different tanks that you can choose from. And like I said, that's kind of like choosing your class, basically. And I chose the purple one. But as you play the game, like I stuck with the purple one because I wanted to keep building it up. But as you play the game, you start to see other people who chose the other ones, and they have built them up. And you can see sort of the possibilities and their builds and things like that, which is pretty cool. There you can see the tank. And you level this up throughout the course of the game. So see that little thing hanging down there off of it? That's the trinket, basically. And it just gives buffs to your tank. There's a map screen, and here we go. Here's all the stuff that you can equip to your character. So you have your weapon, and then the gadgets are like the buffs that I was talking about. And this is early in the game, so I hadn't unlocked my second gadget yet. But each of those gadgets you can level up, your gun you can level up, the tank you can level up, and then as I said, your buddy, that determines like what supers you do. And then the style, that's all cosmetics. It has no effect on the gameplay at all. That's just basically what your character looks like. And that's Splatoon Raiders. I haven't played a loot shooter for a really long time, and I am kind of wondering to myself if that's why I'm enjoying it so much, because I haven't played one in so long. But I really did not find this rubbing me the wrong way at any point, other than a couple sort of minor issues that I mentioned. It's just really well designed. It runs really well. It's very well thought out. You can tell that the developers that have played the living tar out of this. Because as you start playing the living tar out of it, you start to see the decisions that they made that were very smart to keep you hooked into it. And to help you, in all honesty, discover the flexibility of the builds so you get really into the builds. So I wouldn't say that if you don't like loot shooters, you're going to like this, even though the aesthetics of it are way different and it's unique. And, maybe you've never played Splatoon before, so this seems really fresh to you or whatever. Like, at the end of the day, it is a loot shooter that you're on the grind. You're going out, you're trying to look for new stuff so that you can go back and fight the tougher enemies and get through it easier so you can go back and get more stuff. So that gameplay loop hasn't changed for this at all. So if you have not been a fan of games like Destiny and stuff like that in the past, you're probably not going to like this. But if you like Splatoon or you like loot shooters, to me, this is a no-brainer. Pick it up. It's a discounted game. It's worth every penny. I really enjoyed myself. It is Splatoon Raiders. And again, it is only available for Switch 2. Let's check in with chat very quickly. The one thing I know is that we hardly ever get any questions for Nintendo games when we cover them on the show. I don't know why. Eric Cartmenes, didn't you play Black BL4? What's BL4? Borderlands 4. I did, yeah. That's the last one. That's the last loot shooter I played. And that came out when?
Was that last year?
I think end of last year. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's been like 6 months since I played it. So I guess that's enough for me, Eric Carmenez. I guess that's my breaking point. See you, Justin. Have a great week too, brother. Last year. Yeah, Ashes in the Hourglass was last year. Erebus says, so this game is basically The Division with babies first person. Well, I don't know if you've ever played Splatoon, Erebus, but it's really cool gameplay, man. There's no shooter that plays like it. Like, being able to use the ground as cover, and the boss fights in this really make use of that. So a lot of the bosses in this, they do attacks where they pound, and then the waves come out. And when you're fighting like 5 dudes that are doing that, and all the waves are crossing over each other, you have to dip below them, slide underneath them, find a spot where there isn't, and then pop back up. Like, again, it's Splatoon. There's no game that plays like Splatoon. And I do agree with you, Erebus. Either you love it or you hate it. I'm assuming you didn't like it and you hated it. I don't. I love it. As somebody who plays a ton of shooters, I am very happy to play a shooter that plays differently than all the other ones. Full disclosure is going to become the Blinks type joke of this podcast. That's hilarious. Damn, Shane, you like Splatoon, so biased. Yeah. What you're describing is Diablo. You're talking about the gear and loot, Erebus, I'm guessing. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, any loot-heavy game, it's all an algorithm. And it's in a lot of those games, is whether they're good or not, it's like, how good is the algorithm? How good are the drops? Are the drops timed well? And like I said...
The answer is no.
Usually they're not. Yeah. In this game, they are, though. That was what I was getting at when I said that, like, you can tell they played the living hell out of this game. Because they have played the end game. Also, there's a super secret end thing that I'm not going to spoil here. That's pretty freaking cool. If you like Vampire Survivors. And I'll just leave it at that. See if there's any other questions in here. As always, go at SIFTD Games if you want us to answer your question. I think that's... Oh, yeah, I think that's it. Oh, The Legacy. Thank you for Twitch Prime. Appreciate it. That's awesome. Ashes says, Erebus doesn't play games for gameplay. He just likes games that make him feel like a manly man. Okay. All right. It's time to move on. And we're running out of time. So we have one last game to talk about. And that is Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. There was a beta this weekend. Did any of you guys play it? I did. And the first thing I'm going to say about it, and I said this to Matt when I got here, is that I think this game is going to be huge. And the reason that I think it's going to be huge is because I was kicking ass in this beta. I think my record was like 26-6 or something like that playing online, and I am not great at fighting games. So, I mean, I'm okay. I've been playing them since I was very young, and I have the muscle memory and all that kind of stuff, but like Matt will whoop my ass from one side of this room to the other, and like anybody who's like Matt will. And I was kicking ass in this beta, which leads me to believe that there were a lot of casual Marvel fans jumping in there to give this game a go, to check it out. And if they're like me, my guess is they left pretty impressed, because Marvel Tokon is pretty damn cool. I was definitely pleasantly surprised by this. Now, Matt, you didn't play it.
No.
And you want to share why?
I'll play it when the final version comes out. I know that I'm not going to have time or motivation to get really good at this, and it's just sort of not very interesting to me as a result, because it's so different from your normal fighting game. I basically have to relearn how to play a tag fighter. Yeah. And I don't really want to do that.
Yeah.
Like, it's not an issue with the game. It's an issue with me. I know I'm not going to focus on this enough to become proficient enough at it to the point that I would enjoy my gameplay in it.
Yeah.
And I'm just sort of, I'll wait till it's all 1.0 and out, and I will play whatever modes they have and content they have, and that will pretty much be it.
Now, I'll say this.
So I'm not interested in like a beta or a thing. I mean, I followed it. I paid it. I saw video of it. It's Blade looks really cool. Like a bunch.
Most popular character was Blade.
It was. Green Goblin looks cool. I love that Green Goblin can kill himself with his own glider.
Yeah.
Or hit himself with his own glider.
Yeah.
I mean, you can kill yourself with it. I mean, so I like that they did the presentation really well. The anime studio they picked is a good animation studio for that. Like. They're doing it all up. They're really, and I think you're right. It is going to be a big hit. I think because I have seen people talking about this online all weekend, and it's like it's memed, it's discussed. It's like it is hitting like a certain kind of cultural zeitgeist that like you really haven't seen Marvel wise since Marvel Rivals.
Yeah.
So I think it is catching the attention of all the right people.
The other thing that's cool about this game is it takes a different approach with these characters. As you can see, there are gigantic anime cutscenes all the way through this game. And they definitely provide a different angle. These are not like the film characters at all. Like, this is like a different universe, different thing, different vibe. All the great characters, and I think they've done a pretty good job selecting the roster. Even for this beta, I thought they did a good job of providing a nice round of options. They have to, because you have to select 4 fighters for each fight, which is crazy. Now, the one thing I'll say, Matt, to your point about casual and, to my point about it being more for casual players, to your point about learning a tag fighter again, when I first started playing this, I was overwhelmed. Like, trying to learn all that stuff by their instructions. Just the way that they worded stuff, it was kind of hard for me to follow what they were talking about. I got the basic gist of it. Then I jumped into the game and I started learning on my own, and it really isn't all that complicated. So basically, and this is kind of an interesting way that they do this, when you start out, you just have one character that you can play as. And the way that you add another character off of the bench to be able to bring into the fight, like to fully bring into the fight, not just for like a very quick like tag team attack or whatever, to completely take over them and fight with them for the whole fight if you want to, you have to knock the enemy through the stage and go to a new section of the stage. Once you do that, your second character comes online. And all you have to do to bring that second character in is hold the D-pad in the direction of the character. So in the top left there, let me take down the upper third there. So in the top left right now, it just has Spider-Man. But when you have 4 players selected, there's like a diamond up there that matches the D-pad or the face buttons. And all you do is hold the D-pad in the direction of the character that you want and tap L2. And they just jump in. And when in fights, also, tapping L2 at the right time will have them come in to do like combo attacks or team up attacks or whatever. Once you launch an enemy into the air and you're kind of juggling them, that happens just automatically. Like your teammates will just come off the bench and just start helping you attack and juggle them in midair. So the team up stuff, and look, again, I'm not like crazy fighter guy. Like I can make my way around a tag fighter. I learned this pretty quickly, honestly. Like I picked it up pretty fast. At first, I was pleasantly surprised and impressed with myself, and then I started thinking about it. I'm like, that's because they're making this game so anybody can play it. And I think that's the right angle to take. Now, I don't think I'm good enough, Matt, to tell you whether there's hidden depth for players like you. Like, I'm just not good enough to know if there's that extra layer of meta or whatever.
There are. Like, I've seen enough, pro fighter players and people who know, like, talking about, like, all the combos they can pull off and all the different, like, ways this works and that works. Like, it's there.
Yeah. That's good to hear.
I don't think it's necessary to play, just play casuals on PSN or whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
But, as I've always, I am a little too good to play normal casual people, and I'm not good enough to play pro people. And
you would have never lost in this beta. You would have won every single match. I guarantee.
I did play the previous beta, the closed beta, and I did do pretty well.
I bet you did. I'm not surprised to hear that at all. So stages in this beta, there was like 4 plus a variant. There was New York City Center. Then there was New York City Center at night. There was Wakanda. There was a Savage Land. There was Nowhere. And then the X Mansion. As far as the characters in it, you just saw sort of the character select screen, but I'll run through them for the people who are listening to the show and not watching. In this beta, there was Captain America, Iron Man, Black Panther, Storm, Magic, Wolverine, Danger, Penny Parker, Star-Lord, Miss Marvel, Spider-Man, Ghost Rider, Blade, Doctor Doom, Magneto, Green and Green Goblin. And again, you have to choose 4 fighters for every match. So this game has to have so many. Even in the time that I played it, I started getting tired of this fighting with the same people. Mm-hmm. I played, I don't know, probably 50 matches total. And even I, with that huge lineup, honestly, for a beta, that's pretty impressive. Even I was like, yeah, I'm starting to get tired of fighting with these same folks. The other thing, too, is that you can get into, like, the 6 matches that I lost were against, like, people that just, like, totally wrecked me. And, like, I don't think I landed a blow. Like, they literally started their combo on me, and I could not break it and get out of it, and they just wiped the mat with me. Like, just completely annihilated me. So, to your point about there being some extra layer of meta, I believe it. Because when I came up against the good players, they were doing stuff that I did not see other people do. Mm-hmm. Like, at all. Through, like, my 50 matches. So, there's definitely an extra layer to it there, for sure. But yeah, you got your 4-player team. And then as far as the modes that were in this, and this crazy, this beta had all these modes. It had Episode, which is a single-player mode. And that mode is like what it was in the early part of the B-roll. It's like there's anime cutscenes mixed in with like these comic books cell things, like these animated comic book cells. Panels, which are pretty cool because if like after you get used to it, you just tap it really fast and it does this like thing where it lays it all down on the page. And then when it's done, it shows you like a whole page of a comic that you can kind of read through, which is pretty clever. I thought that was a pretty cool way to do it. And then the anime cutscenes, like, you know, for Gen Z, they're going to eat that stuff up. Seeing a lot of these characters in an anime is awesome for me, in all honesty. And then the plot's pretty good.
Been a while since they did anime.
Yeah.
For Marvel.
Mm-hmm. And the plot in it was pretty good. It doesn't last all that long, and honestly, I didn't stick with it that long because I needed to just go and fight and kind of figure out how the fighting system worked. And the netcode's good. I didn't see any lag. I didn't have anyone complaining about lag. You can set it up so you can choose how many bars your opponent needs to have. You can set it for 5 bars, 4, 3, 2, 1, if you're willing to deal with lag. So the menus that they have set up to play online, the modes that they have, everything's here, man. Like, this game, I think, is going to be big. Based upon my experiences playing it, and it's really good, and I enjoyed it, and was able to jump in and be pretty good at it pretty much out of the gate, right down to hanging out with other people while they're playing it, watching other people playing it, looking at the response online. Like, it just feels like this game is primed to just blow up. And it comes out in like a week. Mm-hmm. And when is the next Marvel movie?
Doomsday in December.
So that's a big gap. They may have been smarter to hold this until Q4, honestly, to kind of get that synergy going.
I don't think they want to have anything to do with Doomsday.
Really?
We'll see.
You're really getting bad vibes from that movie.
I mean, the next Marvel movie is this week, technically.
Right. Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But then we're waiting until Doomsday, and then after that, it's another year until Secret Wars, which I don't think is going to make December next year. I think it'll be pushed to May the following.
So no movie at all next year.
I don't think there'll be a Marvel movie for a year and a half.
So maybe this was the right window then.
Also, this is unrelated to the. I mean, different.
Well, like I said from the beginning, it's a whole other universe.
I don't think you need it.
Yeah.
Really, you don't need the synergy on that.
Yeah.
Probably better to stay away from it because we just don't know if that movie's going to hit or not.
One thing I will say is like the open of the round, those little cinematics where they talk, they're pretty bad. Like it feels like there's a little bit of ESL, English as a second language, going on there.
Somewhat, but I appreciate the. They're kind of. It's like an SNK thing where some of the interactions are very in character. Mm-hmm. Although actually, I prefer like the lines they have when a character joins when they're unlocked.
Yeah, yeah.
Like there's a lot of good references when that happens.
Yeah. Yep. So I had a blast with this. The beta ended sadly last night. I didn't want it to end. I wanted to be able to keep playing it, but we don't have long to wait. It's just literally like a week and a half away until the final version comes out, and we'll obviously review it here on GameFace when we do. But
and thankfully, one of the characters that I was missing was Cyclops, and he's the first DLC.
Yeah. Yep.
Phoenix Cyclops.
Yeah. How many characters are they going to launch with? I actually didn't pick up on that.
I want to say it's 24.
Yeah. So 6 teams.
I think so. Yeah. I think it's 24.
That's enough for launch.
And then the first season, I think it looked like 6 or 8 characters. I mean, it's pretty. I think it's 8 characters because 4 divisible by 4. Mm-hmm. And Cyclops is first.
Yeah.
It sounds like they got a handle on it.
My other complaint is the way matches start, where it's like you can move, but you don't really know when it really is going to start.
That's.
Do you like that?
It has to be there. It's tag fighting.
Yeah.
That's MVC. It has to be there.
I think it's kind of annoying. Although I will admit, I took advantage of it more than I was punished by
That's
it.
the point. It's part of the decision making. It's not Marvel Versus if you can't do that.
Yeah. Dr. Doom was probably my favorite character to play.
Doom is going to be a very strong character. I think Doom, Blade, and Star-Lord are kind of your standouts right now.
Doom, I could take on anybody with Doom and win. Fast characters that can fly.
That's just tradition.
Tanks.
Doom is also
it didn't matter.
Doom's also one of the best in MVC2 and MVC3.
Yep. Well, it's held up here for sure. But I enjoyed playing all the characters. Even there's a couple I'd never even heard of before, but they were fun to play as.
There's a couple of decent modern deep cuts on it.
Mm-hmm.
Danger is an interesting inclusion.
Yeah.
Penny Parker is a good choice.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, she's popular because of the Spider-Verse movies. So that's a good move.
Yeah.
I know you hadn't heard of Magic, but Magic's been around for 40 years.
Yeah, I never heard of her. Miss Marvel's cool in this too because her morphing abilities. Yeah. She's visually, she's real cool.
Yeah, she has a lot of cool stuff she can do with that. Just because they,
Yeah, there's the still I was telling you about where they have the sword right at the spot.
I mean, it's her.
Yeah.
She also, I don't know if she has it in this game, but she does have a demon form where she's basically the only thing she's wearing as clothing is fire.
Yeah.
She's just got flames in very strategic locations.
Yeah.
I like that they have Robbie, the Ghost Rider, Robbie Reyes. That's a good pick. Yeah, I got no issues with the roster. I wish it was bigger because you use so many characters per team.
You do. You go through them fast. It's like I said, after playing this for a weekend, I was like, man, I want more characters.
This is the game that needed the roster the size of MVC2. But MVC2 is obviously kind of cheating because they already had almost all of those. I think there's only there's only 4 new characters in MVC2. Everything else was recycled from previous Versus games.
Yeah.
So I think they've done a pretty good job here.
I love how they mix in the comic book stuff in the middle of the combos. It's all very slick and very
a lot of
cool,
stuff in the background,
beautiful.
all this Daredevil references in the background right now. There's a nice Dazzler reference at one point. I would love to see Dazzler join the roster at some point.
Yep.
There's you can go anywhere with this, and there's the added bonus of A, how is that character going to play in this game, and B, what are they going to look like in this art style in this setting? So
I think they all look great.
You have to I don't love Iron Man's armor in this.
Me either. That's the only one that stood out to me. What is that armor?
It's just a little too anime.
Yeah.
It's just a little too Gundam.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he looks like a Gundam.
Too many angles.
Yeah.
I think Iron Man should have a little more flow to
I agree.
design.
The rest
because
pretty awesome.
Because Iron Man's armor is a hot rod.
Yeah.
It comes more from hot rod culture than robo culture.
Yep. But you're right. It's a lot of angles instead of smooth lines on his mask and everything.
Oh, and then there was a Luna Snow reference there on the that's the character from Rivals.
Oh.
Which is interesting because I believe she's original to Rivals.
Yeah.
So lot of stuff to find in the background here.
Yeah, I had a blast playing this game, and I haven't really stuck with a fighting game for a while. I might stick with this one. I really enjoyed it. It doesn't hurt when you win.
No,
because you think to yourself, "Oh, something clicked with me with this game," but really, it's just a crappy competition.
Definitely encouraging. Yes.
It does for sure. Yep. So anyway, there you go. That's Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. It's coming to PlayStation 5 and PC on, I believe it's August 6th. So very soon. It's coming out real soon. And it has cross-play, so you can play against people with PC. I never had any problems getting matchmaking, even in this beta. Instantly, I had someone to fight against, no matter what mode I was playing through. So it looks like it's going to be a big hit. And if you're into playing fighting games, then it kind of matters. If other people actually play it, it looks like this one, that's going to be the case. All right, well, we've reached the end of GameFace episode 490, which means there is just one thing left to do. That's right. It's time for Name That Game Tune, brought to you by Soundwizardry.com, the absolute wizards of audio. Whether you're working on a game, you're working on a film, you're working on a TV show, you're working on a podcast, no matter what you're working on, if it has audio or sound, they can make it better. I promise you. Go to Soundwizardry.com, ask for Glenn. You will talk to one of the coolest dudes you've ever talked to. Go to Soundwizardry.com. They're so cool that they sponsor this game that we play called Name That Game Tune, which is just crazy that we do this, where I play 5 audio samples from a game, and you try to guess the name of the game before this guy. There's no rules this year, so you haven't played all year, you haven't been around or whatever. Like, there's no rules anymore. The only rule is if the chat goes into slow mode. Otherwise, you can keep playing, you can keep winning, and at the end of the year, whoever has won the most will be crowned the grand champion. People over on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for the super chats and all the great interaction. But unfortunately, we can only play Name That Game Tune at one place, and we play it on Twitch because generally we get more people over on Twitch. So if you want to play, jump on over there. Thanks again for showing up and watching the show live. Let me bring up the interface. Let me get Matt's headphones turned up. And we're good there. Make sure we're at the bottom of the scroll. And we are. All right. Are you ready to play Name That Game Tune, Matt?
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready to play Name That Game Tune? Here's the first sample in 3, 2, 1. I'll play that one again. Zen Shuriken. Looking forward to Tokon. Me too, brother. I really had a good time in that beta. All right, let's see what guesses we got on that first one. It's always hard to pick it out from the first one. Any guesses at all? Oh, no.
It's frozen.
Did our PC just freeze at the worst possible time? I think it did. Oh, no. Oh, wait, it worked. There they go. Nice. Thank God. All right, let me scroll up here and go through these. Thank you, Majora Tom, for Twitch Prime, brother. Appreciate it. Okay. Erebus versus Ashes for Name That Tune. Bioshock Infinite, no. Guilty Gear X2, no. Jumpstart Typing, no. Bioshock, no. Mega Man X, no. Hell Is Us, no. Although that's coming out very soon. Hell Is Us Vietnam. Blank. Good job, you shine. Vanquish, no. Titanfall 2, no. Borderlands, no. Final Fantasy 12, no. Any last guesses before we go to the second one? Going once. Going twice. All right, here it is in 3, 2, 1. Area 51, no. Any other guesses from that second one? Alien vs. Predator, no. Kirby Superstar, no. Power World, no. Street Fighter 2, no. Body Harvest, nope. Real guess is Psyops. Not Psyops either. Carrion, no. Veritas got on the board. He's on the leaderboard. Turok 2, Seeds of Evil, no. XCOM Enemy Unknown, that's not it either. Not Destroy All Humans. Spelunky, no. Haze, no. Perfect Dark, no. Any last guesses before we go to the third one? Spyro Ripto's Rage, no. Going once. Going twice. All right, here we go. On to the third audio sample. Here it is in 3, 2, 1.
Here you go. Have fun.
I'll play that one again too.
720.
Yeah.
Here you go. Have fun.
Let's see if it pops up here quick. And no. You're the winner. All right, Matt's our winner for this week's Name That Game Tune. Here's the last 2 sample. Here's the fourth one. And here's the last one.
Take it easy.
It's a voice sample. You knew what the last one was going to be.
Take it easy.
Yep. Well,
skate or die.
That's 7 wins for you now, Matt. So you are ahead by a wide margin. Your next closest competition has 3 wins. So good job, Matt. Yep, good game, Matt.
Actually, was 720 not widespread outside of the U.S.?
Was it not?
I don't. Ashes in the Hourglass doesn't seem to know what it is.
You never heard of 720?
He's UK, I think.
It's the skateboarding game from the 80s where you had the
diagonal
joystick and you
yeah.
could spin it like this to do like your spinning tricks. Yeah. Every once in a while, we jump back to the arcade days.
You couldn't get away from that game. That was everywhere. It's
yeah.
a huge hit.
It was huge. I mean, it was in every arcade. Sometimes it had 2 in each arcade.
Yeah. I mean, when Tony Hawk's Pro Skater was announced, it was like, I don't know. Like,
yeah, 720.
720 is the only good skateboarding game. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that.
Contana says he's never heard of it either. Fried X100, thank you for Twitch Prime, brother. Appreciate that. All right. Well, that's going to do it for GameFace episode 490 right here on Sifted at sifted.net. A reminder that we are supported pretty much 100% at patreon.com/sifted. That's spelled SIFTD. For just $5 a month, you get all our content early. This show 3 days early, Pactor Factor a week early. Who's always right, I should add. We'd really appreciate it if you could go over that. It really makes a difference for us. We can kind of count on that money and make decisions and plans around it instead of just hoping that it comes in. So do that if you can, but if you don't have any money, I know a lot of people don't right now. I totally get that. Believe me, if you watch the opening of the show, we get it. So if you don't have money, but you do have an Amazon Prime subscription, we talk about it all the time on the show. People helping us out with Amazon Prime. If you're watching on YouTube, go down below. There's step-by-step instructions down there to help you hook up your accounts and do that. If you've already connected your accounts, it just takes 3 clicks to give us $2.50 every month. So please head over and do that right now. Go to twitch.tv/siftedgames and just click that drop down. Click, click, click. $2.50. That's all it takes. We'd appreciate that. And if you don't have Amazon Prime any longer, like a lot of people have gotten rid of it, you can still help us out in a bunch of different ways. Review the show on the podcast service you're listening to it on. Leave a comment on YouTube. Like the show right now before you leave. Make sure you like it. That helps us bubble up in the algorithms. There's so many things that you can do. Sharing it on social media is probably the best thing that you can do. Like, if you have a bunch of people that follow you that love games, just tweet, hey, if you're not watching GameFace and listening to GameFace, what are you doing? Like, that stuff can really make a difference for us. You never know when somebody who's just very wealthy could come along and be like, you know what? I want to give you a lot per month. Like, that happens. And that has happened for us in the past, but it's not going to happen unless you're out there messaging how awesome GameFace is. So thanks to everybody who showed up both on YouTube and on Twitch. We're here every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/siftedgames and youtube.com/siftedgames. Join us, play along, get involved in the chat, play Name That Game Tune. I promise you, it's a good time. So everybody, have yourselves a great week filled with great games. GameFace is up and out.